horizons, networking, mergers, and aggregation opportunities for CA's firm. So we have our distinguished speakers, CA S Gopalakrishnan sir and CA Sridhar Kumar sir with us. Sir, I request both of you to occupy the dais. So before we move on, I request all the members to rise up for our ICA motto song.
य एष सुप्तेषु जाग्रति य एष सुप्तेषु जाग्रति कामं 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 कामपुरुषो पुरुषो निर्मिमाणः निर्मिमाणः तदेव शुक्रं तद्ब्रह्मा तद्ब्रह्मा तदेवामृतमुच्यते तस्मिन् लोकः शतः सर्वे तदूनात्यपि कश्चन एतद्वैत 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 एतद्वैत.
Thank you. On behalf of SIRC of ICI, thank you, sir, both of us, to being here with us today. As a token of appreciation and gratitude, we would like to invite CA Lakshmanan sir to kindly present the memento to our speakers. Thank you, sir. I would like to invite CIS Gopalakrishnan sir to kindly take over the session.
Hello. You are able to hear me, all of you? Yes? Okay. We can come in front. Is it possible? So many less people. Thank you. Thank you so much. I had specifically asked our CA Institute not to give any introduction. Generally, seminar, if you see, Tamil and English, both are English. Both is fine? Sir, fine. So, specifically, I have told them, don't introduce me, because I wanted to start with a question. Okay, so I told, don't introduce me, let me start with the question, because that is very relevant to the topic we are having here today. Okay, so the question which I am going to ask you is, we have around 15 people, whatever is there. Okay, how many of you know me as to what professional value I add to the CA fraternity? Let it be a practice, work, or whatever it is. How many of you here know me as a person who can add professional value, or what professional value I can add? Just to add, I do reasonably well practice. In Chennai, I am owning a house, I have a car, everything. So I have a reasonable practice. So it's not that I don't have a reasonable practice. So my question is, how many of you know me? No. Okay. So that is the crux of networking. So friends, when we completed CA, nammaloda aasa enna irundhaduna, we have to start and practice. Correct? We have to start a practice. Good professional practice. Clients vandanga. We were successful. And that model was working very well, no problem. Okay. But the question now is that same model, okay, where we had individual practice, na personala enoda practice vechindha, very good practice. In the current environment, is it working today? Is a question I want to ask. Just contemplate for 5 seconds. In the current scenario, is an individual practice working as successfully as it was earlier? No, right? That's the very basic answer. Why is it no? Okay, why an individual practice is not working today. Why? Because traditionally our strength has been, I will work, I am the founder, I know everything, whatever practice I am doing, in that I am an expert. That is what a CA is. We claim to be an expert, we do all the work there. So traditionally this is what our practice was. Individual, we have our structural limitations, because for example, if I am very strong in tax, my individual practice will be taxation, correct? I will not go more than that, but I will become an expert in taxation, right? So that was the major point there. Then what happened subsequently in the current scenario, what is happening? Because of this, we have a lot of challenges. Individual excellence alone is not guaranteeing success in our profession because of various factors. One, it is super dependent on the founder. Like if I am an individual, my firm is dependent on me. Na irundha vela nadakkum illana vela nadakadu. Right? ரொம்ப சிம்பிள் எக்ஸாம்பிள், ஆடிட் எடுத்துக்கலாமே. நான் சைன் பண்ணோன்னா நான் இருக்கணும் இல்லையா? இப்போ நான் இல்லைனா சைனிங் நடக்காது, அப்புறம் அந்த ஆடிட் இஸ் நாட் க்ளோஸ்ட். சிம்பிள் ஃபேக்டர், ரைட்? நம்பர் 2, எவ்ரி டே so many changes are happening in statute. லைக் டெய்லி ஒரு ஜிஎஸ்டி நோட்டிஃபிகேஷன், டேக்ஸ் சர்க்குலர், இப்போ ரீசெண்டாக பார்த்தீங்கன்னா த லேபர் கோட், ஓகே, டெய்லி பார்த்தீங்கன்னா there is so much changes happening in the act, right? Number 3, the skill set, okay, the skill set which is available today for practice. I am not talking about skill set which is available in the market for a chartered accountant. What is relevant here is the skill set which is available for people who are practicing. Adu irukka? That's a relevant question to ask. Inniki நம்ம practice பண்ணனும்னா, do we get the right kind of people we want? Is an important question to answer, which is not there, right? And 4, the expectations of all the employees. Okay, now the major topic pathina enga edthalum it is this question, work life balance, right? So that is very important, which has become very important now, and we cannot ignore it because people will not come இல்லையா? நான் ஒர்க் லைஃப் பேலன்ஸ்லாம் இல்லை. முன்ன மாதிரி நான் ஆர்டிகல்ஸ் பண்ணர்ச்சே ஐ யூஸ் டு ஒர்க் அப் டு நைட் 12 o'clock 1 o'clock, ஓகே, தட் வாஸ் த நார்ம் தேர். ஏன்னா இப்போ ஒரு கிளைண்ட் வருவார், அவருக்கு உடனே முடிச்சு தரணும் அப்படின்னு இருக்கிறச்சே ஐ யூஸ் டு ஒர்க் அட் 1 o'clock. பட் வில் இட் ஒர்க் நவ் டுடே? And if you say no, you work like what I work, nobody will be coming to our firm. So that work life balance, or I will put it as work environment, that one work environment has lot of expectations from us. Okay, so why an individual excellence is not working today is because of all these factors. 1, so much dependence on the founder. 2, too many changes in statute. Okay, the law is keeping on changing, we have to cope up with that, is a bigger challenge. 3, skill set available, and 4th, the work environment. Okay, now adding to that, our client expectations have all gone up. Okay, now earlier the client was saying, okay, you give me a simple example, let us take an MIS which we give. Let us say the client says I need it by 15th earlier. Okay, now client is saying I need by 1st. I have to plan my budget, I have to plan my cash flows. So if you give me on 15th, half month is already gone, so I will not work on that. You give it to me by 1st. That is the expectation of a client. Second expectation, the second expectation of the client is they want us to know everything. When I say everything, what is that is? Like what I told, let me be an accounting expert in this particular case, because I took an example of MIS. I will say I am an expert, or I am good at accounting. Okay, my client wants me to good at tax also, and in tax, GST, direct tax, indirect tax, both he wants me to be good. Then comes company law. So the client expectation is not same as earlier. It has become widespread, and they want it to from one person. Unlike earlier, where people used to approach different CAs, now the client says, no, I want only one person. I will not be able to go around looking for a lot of chartered accountants. That will waste my time. You please give me, you answer all the questions, you take all the responsibility. So the client expectations also have gone up when compared to what was there earlier. And the advent of advisory firms. Okay, we call it as boutique firms basically. So they are not into the core area of CA, however they have taken over most of our activities. So basically advisory, which is non-core area. But they have taken most of that, which includes compliance, which includes advice, which includes advising on taxes, including accounting. So all that has been taken over by an advisory firm. So all this has resulted in what? In stating that an individual excellence alone is not sufficient to be a successful practitioner. So it has ensured that an individual person who was very good at practice earlier cannot continue to have the same momentum now. Okay? And how do you want to go, like, if you have any discussion points? Because what I am telling right now is based on few experiences which I have in networking, in our firm, in what we did and everything. And I just wanted to share all that with you. In case if you have any questions or you want to share something, I think it can be more interactive because one, we have a lot of time and we have very few people here. So I feel that way, but again, I leave the choice to you. We can do as ever. We can, after I talk, you can ask questions, or in between also if you have, please feel free to ask questions. We discuss this right now. This is a CA traditional CA, a CA whose knowledge historically is treated as his personal capital. Basically, he is the founder, the firm is his and he is the firm. Okay? Firm identity tied to a senior partner. Trust built person to person, not system to system. What is person to person and not system to system? I told a very simple example. If I am there, my system works. I will say this has to be done like this, it will be done like that. There is no documented system or process. Like if I am not there, work will continue or not. It is not like that. If I am there, if I tell this, this will continue. So it is person dependent, not system dependent. That was what the traditional CA practices. Now, this is what we discussed some. I'll just elaborate this. There is a hidden cost to personalization. What is personalization means? Me, my firm, I am the firm, individual practitioner. So there are hidden costs to it. One, my life cycle is not there. Personal brands, for example, till I am there, my brand is there. If I am not there, what will happen? So as an individual, succession planning becomes very difficult. For an individual practitioner, a succession planning is very difficult because after him, there is nobody. When I go, my practice also goes. Either I will have to transfer it to another person, which means my brand is gone, my name is gone, that other person takes it over. Either let it be my son or someone else, whoever it is. கரெக்டா? ஸோ நான் இருக்கிற வரைக்கும் என்னோட பேர் எல்லாருக்கும், கோபால் எல்லாருக்கும் தெரியும், என்னோட கிளைண்ட்ஸுக்கு தெரியும். நான் போயிட்டேன்னா எனக்கு அப்புறம் யார் எடுத்துக்கிறாங்களோ they will continue that. Again, it will be an individual practice, right? Number 2, succession becomes very fragile. Very fragile. இருக்கவே இருக்காது. Succession is very rare. In case of an individual practitioner, there is nothing called succession because he is an individual. அவரோட பிராண்ட் நேமை அவர் வளர்த்துருக்கார். அவருக்கு அப்புறமா யார் எனக்கு கொண்டு வரும்? ஏன்னா கோபாலகிருஷ்ணன்ற ஒரு பிராண்ட் நேம் நான் வளர்த்துட்டேன்னா, if I build that one, then I have to delete it to build another brand, right? I cannot, even my son, even if it is my son's brand will be there, my name Gopalakrishnan will not be there. So that is very important. In case of an individual practitioner, we will have a very fragile succession planning, which is very difficult. Growth is limited in case of individual brand. We saw because what I can be expert in and how much work I can. Assume I am expert in everything. Okay, I am master of all trades. No problem. Okay, but how much can I do is also a question, because I have to handle, I have to manage clients, I have to bring revenue, I have to develop business, I have to do the work also. Even if I have employees, since it is individual dependent, my employees are dependent on me. My firm will not work independently, unlike other people. It will be dependent on me. If I am there, my firm will work, my employees will work, I will have to monitor them, I will have to supervise them, I will have to develop business. So all this happens. If that happens, what happens is time is a constraint. Everyone has 24 hours. We cannot work more than that. So the amount of growth you will have is very limited in case of an practitioner which is who is an individual. Then scalability and perpetuity. Perpetuity, again I said, till I am there. Perpetuity is continuity. See, when a Gopalakrishnan CA practice is there, it ends with CA Gopalakrishnan. There is no perpetuity in a CA practice of an individual. And scalability. Again, since I only do everything, I will not be able to scale my firm up above a certain extent. Right? Because I also become old. எனக்கு வயசாயிடும், என்னோட திறமை வந்து will be the same. I will have a sharper brain, but the amount of effort which I can put will become very less. So the scalability becomes a question mark in case of an individual practice. Then talented juniors remain invisible. Why this is talented juniors remain invisible in case of an individual practice is because again I am responsible. ஏன்னா என்னோட பேர்ல firm நடக்கிறது. Okay, it is not a firm where partners are there, everyone can do. இல்ல அப்படி கிடையாது. Anything and everything I am getting projected. நான் தான் sign பண்ணுவேன் because it is in my name. Even if I have a senior chartered accountant, maybe 5 years experience இருந்தாலும் sign பண்ண போறது நான். I am the signing person. So that junior, he doesn't get visible anywhere. He will be doing all the work. The client might know him. ஆனா வெளியில பாத்தீங்கன்னா I will be signing. Correct? So where is the visibility of the person who is working? Not there. So these are the hidden cost of personalization. When I say personalization, it means of an individual practice. If I practice individually, these are all the challenges I have. These are all the problems I will have. Okay, for growing. So in the session, இது போறதுக்கு முன்னாடி I just wanted to ask one question. How many of you feel as of today, we have discussed certain things on individual practice and all things, merits, demerits எல்லாம் இருக்கு. How many of you feel that individual practice is still valid? It can still grow. You can, yes. Okay. Fine. We will discuss on that, sir, but again I would like to get your views on that, but we will discuss that again. So individual practice we just saw as certain limitations. It is, but please understand, it is limitations only, it is not failure. As I already told you, that is what has succeeded till today. கொஞ்ச வருஷத்துக்கு முன்னாடி வரைக்கும் பார்த்தீங்கன்னா it is individual practice which has succeeded. Okay, no doubt on that. But in the current scenario, will it work is the question. Right? Whether it is scalable, whether it is able to grow is the question which we have today. And that is where the concept of networking, alliance, mergers, all that come into picture. Now, before going into that networking aspect, what we have to be very clear. We have to be very clear as to why we need networking. Okay? In the why, ஏன் நான் அந்த networking பண்ணணும் அப்படின்னு நமக்கு clear-ஆ இல்லைனா, we will never be able to be a successful networking person. Okay? Very simple. And again I am telling you, all this ஏதோ கொஞ்சம் நான் பார்த்ததுல ஏதோ எல்லாம் சேர்த்து நான் கொண்டு வந்திருக்கேன். And it is not very sure that this will only work. Okay? There are lot of other factors. இது எப்படின்னா இந்த கல்யாணம் மாதிரி. Okay, ஒரு கல்யாணம் சக்ஸஸ்ஃபுல்லாக இருக்குமா நான் ஒருத்தர் கேட்டேன்னா யாராவது பதில் சொல்ல முடியுமா? even if it is an centurion. சொல்ல முடியாது இல்லையா? ஏன்? It is person dependent. ஒரு மனுஷரை பற்றி இருக்கு, ஒரு மனுஷன் இன்னொரு மாதிரி இல்லை இல்லையா? There is lot of difference between each and every person. So it is very important to note that whatever we are discussing is only a point. I am just giving you a thought process. இதெல்லாம் இருக்கு, இதெல்லாம் இதுக்கு மேலே ஏதாவது இருக்கலாம். ஏன்னா நம்ம வந்து ஒரு வாட்டி நெட்வொர்க்கிங்கில் இறங்கி பார்த்தா ஒரு 4 பேரோட பேசினா டிஃபரன்ஸ் கிடைக்கும், அதில் அடிஷ்னல் பாயிண்ட்ஸ் வரும். ஸோ திஸ் இஸ் ஒன்லி a தாட் ப்ராசஸ் ஐ எம் கிவிங். இதெல்லாம் இருக்குது, இந்த மாதிரி யோசிக்கலாம், இதுக்கு மேலே பண்ணுறது நம்மளோடது. ஒரு சிச்சுவேஷன் இஸ் வெரி டிஃப்ரெண்ட் அண்ட் ஐ வில் எக்ஸ்பிளைன் தட் ஆல்சோ. ஐ வில் ஷோ யூ ஆல்சோ வை இட் இஸ் வெரி டிஃப்ரெண்ட். ஓகே, ஸோ நெக்ஸ்ட் பாயிண்ட் நம்ம கேட்டோம் இல்லையா, வை, ஏன் வந்து நம்ம நெட்வொர்க்கிங் பண்ணணும்? நம்ம நெட்வொர்க்கிங் பண்ணணும்னா ஏன் பண்ணணும்? It's the why which we have to answer. Why is basically number 1, business development. Okay, now ஒரு இண்டிவிஜுவலாக நம்ம பார்த்தோம், scalability is limited because we will have our own expertise, limitation in that expertise like accounting, tax, corporate law, GST, income tax, FEMA, அந்த மாதிரி இருக்கிறச்சே நம்மளோட limitation is there, like we cannot be expert in everything. Okay, now but business development need expertise in all the fields. Okay, ஒரு ஃபீல்டை மட்டும் வச்சுட்டு டெவலப் பண்ணுறது கஷ்டம். as a CA practicing firm. So networking enables us to have that business development aspect. இன்னொன்று கூட சொல்லலாம். ஃபார் எக்ஸாம்பிள் என் ஃபர்மில் எடுத்துட்டிங்கன்னா ஐ எம் பேசிக்லி அ ஒர்க்கிங் பர்சன். நான் எல்லா ஒர்க் பண்ணுவேன், எல்லாத்தையும் எது கொடுக்குறீங்களோ வேலையை பண்ணி முடிச்சு கொடுத்துருவேன். பட் தென் ஐ மைட் நாட் பி குட் அட் பிஸ்னஸ் டெவலப்மெண்ட். ஓகே, பிஸ்னஸ் டெவலப்மெண்ட்ன்றது இஸ் அ செப்பரேட் ஆக்டிவிட்டி ஆல் டுகெதர், ரைட்? இஃப் யூ ஸ்டார்ட் ஒர்க்கிங், பிஸ்னஸ் டெவலப்மெண்ட் வில் நாட் பி பாசிபிள். பிகாஸ் யுவர் டைம் வில் கோ இன் ஒர்க். நம்ம வேலை பண்ணிட்டு இருப்போமே தவிர நம்ம பிஸ்னஸ் எப்படி டெவலப் பண்ணுறதுன்னு நம்மளால் யோசிக்க முடியாது. ஏன்னா நமக்கு வேலையில் இருக்கிற டென்ஷன், நம்மள வேலையில் இருக்கிற ப்ராப்ளம்ஸ், அதை நம்ம சால்வ் பண்ணணும். அப்படி இருக்கிறச்சே நம்மளோட பிஸ்னஸ் டெவலப்மெண்ட்டை பற்றி யோசிக்கிறது கஷ்டம். ஸோ when we don't have another person or when we don't cater or grow our organization or network, this is not possible. So first one is business development. Networking enables us to develop our business. ஸோ இது ஏன் வையில் இருக்கணும்னா, see already I have a set practice. ஓகே, நான் என்னோடய ஃபர்மில் நான் வந்து அக்கௌண்டிங் வச்சுக்கோங்களேன். எக்ஸாம்பிள், let us take accounting or taxes. I am already an expert in taxes. லக்ஷ்மி, ஸ்ரீதரன் எக்ஸாம்பிள், நிறைய பேர் இருக்காங்க. அவங்கெல்லாம் ஆல்ரெடி எக்ஸ்பர்ட் இன் taxes. அவங்க பேர் எல்லாருக்கும் தெரியும். தே ஆர் இண்டிவிஜுவல்ஸ். ஓகே, ஸோ அவங்க ப்ராக்டிஸ் இருக்கிறச்சு அவங்களுக்கு பிஸ்னஸ் டெவலப்மெண்ட் தேவையா? தேவை இருக்காது. ஆனால் நமக்கு தேவையாக இருக்கலாம். ஸோ இந்த ஒரு பாயிண்ட்டையும் ஐ வாண்ட் ஈச் ஒன் ஆஃப் யூ டு திங்க் ஓவர். Might be applicable, might not be applicable, but that why has to be answered. Okay, what is the why? What is the problem statement which this networking is going to solve for me? அப்படி இல்லைன்னு வச்சுக்கோங்களேன், the problem will be in another 1 year 2 year you will come out of that network. நம்ம ரெண்டு பேரும் சேருவோம், திருப்பி சண்டை வரும், வெளில வருவோம். ஏன்னா நமக்கே புரியாது நம்ம எதுக்காக வந்திருக்கோன்ட்டுன்னு. அந்த புரியல் இல்லாத வரைக்கும் networking will not succeed. Okay, so that is why we are discussing it clearly, why, which is very important. First one is business development. Client servicing. Now already நம்ம டிஸ்கஸ் பண்ணோம். ஒரு கிளைண்ட்டுக்கு இப்போ வந்தார்னா what they are thinking is, I will come to a particular CA office, the entire solution has to be provided by them. Correct? ஸோ அவங்க ஒரு கம்பெனி ஒன்று ஆரம்பிக்கணும். அந்த கம்பெனி ஆரம்பிக்கிறதுலேருந்து ஃபஸ்ட்டு போர்டு மினிட்ஸ் முடிச்சுட்டு அப்பாயின்மெண்ட் ஆஃப் டைரக்டர்ஸ், ஆடிட்டர்ஸ், டைரக்டர்ஸ், அதுக்கப்புறமா வந்து அக்கௌண்டிங், அதுக்கப்புறமா கம்ப்ளையன்ஸ், அதுக்கப்புறமா வந்து ஜிஎஸ்டி, கார்ப்பரேட் லா, இன்கம் டேக்ஸ், இது எல்லாமே நான் ஒருத்தர்கிட்ட பண்ணுவேன். நான் வெளிலலாம் போய் என்னால் அலைய முடியாது. ஐ ஹாவ் அதர் ஒர்க்ஸ் டு டூ. பேசிக்லி ஸ்டார்ட் அப்ஸ் பார்த்தீங்கன்னா தட் இஸ் வாட் ஃபவுண்டர்ஸ் ஆர் ஆஸ்கிங். எனக்கு அவ்வளோ டைம்லாம் கிடையாது, நான் எல்லா இடத்துலையும் போயிட்டு என்னால் பார்க்கலாம் முடியாது. ஐ வில் கம் டு யூ, யூ டேக் கேர் ஆஃப் எவ்ரி திங். ஓகே, கிளைண்ட் சர்வீஸிங்க்கு இஃப் இட் இஸ் வெரி இம்பார்ட்டண்ட் தட் நெட்வொர்க்கிங் இஸ் அன் ஆஸ்பெக்ட், பிகாஸ் வி மைட் பி எக்ஸ்பர்ட் இன் அக்கௌண்டிங். Now, when a client comes, he might want GST also. He might need an expert in income tax or someone who is very good at income tax. Similarly, corporate law. So, if networking is not there and it's an individual practice, we limit ourselves here. இல்லையா? நாம் என்ன சொல்லுவோம் மேக்ஸிமம், சார் நான் அக்கௌண்டிங் பண்ணி தரேன் சார், பாக்கிக்கு நீங்கள் வேறு தான் போய் பார்க்கணும். எய்தர் he will accept or he will say no, I will look for another person. Okay, that why networking answers. Okay, if you have a proper networking, the client servicing is answered in that way. So இந்த ஒரு வையா நம்ம வந்து questions answer பண்ணிட்டே வந்தோம்னா we will be able to know why we need a networking and in what area we need a networking. For example, some of the people will be very good at business development. Okay, they don't need business development, but they need people to work, to execute, to deliver. Okay, so in that case this why will become very important. So we'll have to be very clear in answering this why before moving into the networking aspects. Then what is toe in water? சொல்லுங்க சார். பண்ண முடியாது சார், பண்ண முடியாது. either if you do accounting you will not be able to do attest function. accounting பண்ணீங்கன்னா attest functions பண்ண முடியாது. ரிட்டர்ன்ஸ்லாம் ஃபைல் பண்ணலாம். compliance aspects we can do. If you do accounting you can do compliance aspects. You cannot do attest function. That is very clear. Toe in water approach. What is toe in water approach? Any idea? Anything which you can share? Toe in water approach na enna? ஆழம் பார்க்கறதுன்னு சொல்லுவோம் இல்லையா? That is what is toe in water approach. Networking is not the end, it is the beginning. End பார்த்தீங்கன்னா it will be alliance, merger, growth. Okay, so networking in most of the cases is a toe in water approach because it enables us to have a feel of all our other members. ஒரு நமக்கு இது ஒத்து வருமா? ஏன்னா நெட்வொர்க்கிங்கில் யூ ஆர் நாட் கமிட்டட் டு each other. You are joining together for specific purpose. It will enable us to have a feel of how my other network partner is, how my other network members, how their office is. Everything we will be able to have a feel. Okay, that is what is called toe in water approach, which means we will be able to analyze and understand whether we can go further. இதுக்கு நெக்ஸ்ட் ஸ்டெப் which is alliance or merger, அதுக்கு நம்மளால் போக முடியுமா போக முடியாதா, இதுக்கு ஆன்சர் பண்ணணும்னா this toe in water networking is important. Because வேண்டாமா சரி நெட்வொர்க்கை நம்ம கலைச்சிட்டு we can go off. Okay, because after becoming a alliance, merger பண்ணி alliance ஆரம்பிச்சு, that will be a bigger headache altogether. So networking will enable us to feel how the other person is, whether we will be able to get along well. See, one of the important question to answer before this is whether the networking has to be gone or not. But நான் ஏன் இதை இங்கே சொல்ல வரேன்னா, because networking எப்பவுமே is not the end, it is only the beginning. The end is alliance or merger. Okay, so toe in water approach, it makes us have a feel what the other networking members will be able to contribute to us, what we will be able to contribute to them. Young partners program. So networkingல இது என்ன young partners programனா, இப்போ நான் கொஞ்ச நேரம் முன்னாடி சொன்னேன், நம்ம firmல we will have lot of youngsters, young chartered accountants who will be working, but they will not come to forefront because of two reasons. One, even in a firmல எடுத்துக்கலாமே, ஒரு firm கூட எடுத்துக்கோங்க where there are 10 partners or thing, senior partners have a more say, senior partners are more prominent, junior partners will be less prominent because they are in the process of development. ஏன்னா senior is there for right 20-30 years, he has the right to be known to everyone, correct? ஏன்னா அவர் தான் அந்த firm பண்ணார், அவர் தான் டெவலப் பண்ணார், எல்லாம் பண்ணார். ஜூனியர் பார்ட்னர்ஸ் இப்போ ஜாயின் பண்ணுங்க. பட் in order for the junior partners to grow, ஒரு ஜூனியர் பார்ட்னர் ஒரு சீனியர் பார்ட்னர் லெவலுக்கு வரணும்னா, one thing what he should have is the opportunity, correct? Now a networking of firms gives that opportunity. எப்படி? Very simple. When two firms form a network, what happens is the juniors start mingling with each other. The juniors will have their say, they will form a group, they will talk to each other. அவங்களோட ஒரு ஃபர்மோட இன்னொரு ஃபர்மில் என்ன பண்ணுறாங்க, எப்படி பண்ணுறாங்க, என்ன பேசிக்கிறாங்க. The junior partners will also be able to interact with each other. இது என்னன்னா, they will have a confidence now. Okay, what this does is it will give them a confidence, like okay, I can also move to the next level. Because I am always under an umbrella of a senior partner, it will be difficult for me to move. Suddenly ஒரு சிச்சுவேஷனில் கொண்டு என்ன போட்டிங்கன்னா எனக்கு சொல்ல தெரியாது, எனக்கு பண்ண தெரியாது. பட் if it's a networking of firm, what happens is ரெண்டு firm join பண்ணுறதுனால senior partners level, junior partners also get engaged. Okay, next one, domestic branding. What is domestic branding? நான் ஆல்ரெடி சொன்னேன் உங்களுக்கு, இண்டிவிஜுவலாக சிஏ கோபாலகிருஷ்ணன் இங்கே இருக்கிறவங்களுக்கே நமக்கு யாருக்கும் தெரியல, கரெக்ட்? So if I have to have a brand, why I should have a brand? எதுக்கு நமக்கு brand தேவை? Sorry கேட்கல. Improve the business. Visibility. எதுக்கு visibility தேவை? Get more business, right? Visibility இல்லைன்னா business இல்லை. Very simple. So when I don't have visibility, I will not get business, and for visibility what I should have is a brand. And the brand எப்படி டெவலப் பண்ணுவேன்? Advertising is not allowed. Very simple. Advertising is not allowed. So the brand for a CA is through his work. Sir? Correct. Performance. Work basically. நம்மளோட work. ஆனால் அந்த ஒருத்தர் ஒரு ஒர்க்கை பண்ணாலே எல்லாராலையும் பண்ண முடியுமா? அதை தான் சொன்னேன். நான் என்னோட ப்ராக்டிஸில் ரொம்ப நல்லா இருக்கேன் அப்படின்னு நான் சொல்லினேன் இப்போ. And I have a fairly good practice. That means I am doing my work properly. இல்லையா? Because I have a practice. I am doing my work properly. But is Gopalakrishnan a brand? இல்லையே. நான் என் ஒர்க்கை பண்ணதுனால மட்டும் பிராண்ட் வருமானா வராது. You should have the reach. ஓகே, யூ ஷுட் ஹேவ் எ ரீச்னா என்ன? இப்போ ஏசிஏ, இப்போது எஸ் கோபாலகிருஷ்ணன் ஒன்று இருக்காங்க. ஓகே, அதுக்கும் கோபாலகிருஷ்ணன் அண்ட் கோ ஆர் கோபாலகிருஷ்ணன் அண்ட் எல்எல்பி, எக்ஸாம்பிள் ஐம் சேயிங் எஸ்ஜிகே எல்எல்பின்னு வச்சுக்கோங்களேன். கோபால் சிஏ, எஸ்ஜிகே எல்எல்பி, விச் வில் ஹேவ் எ பெட்டர் பிராண்ட்? SGK LLP, simple logic இல்லையா? SGK LLP have a better brand. Why? அங்கேயும் நானே தான், அங்கேயும் நான் தான் சீனியர் பார்ட்னர், பக்கத்தில் இன்னொரு ஜூனியர் போட்டிருக்கேன்னு வச்சுக்கோங்க. அப்படியே இருக்கட்டும். ஒரு சிம்பிள் எக்ஸாம்பிளுக்கு எடுத்துக்கலாம். இண்டிவிஜுவல் ப்ராக்டிஸில் நான் இருக்கேன், அதே ஜூனியர் இருக்கார். ஓகே, ஒரு LLPயில் I am making myself as a partner and the junior also my junior partner, my partner basically. But ஏன் LLPக்கு விசிபிலிட்டி அதிகமாக இருக்குது? ரிஜிஸ்டர்ட். ஸோ a statutory பேக்கப் இருக்குது. கரெக்ட். நம்பர் 2, எப்போவுமே எல்லாருக்கும் என்னென்னா ஒரு என்டிட்டியாக இருந்ததுன்னா, இஃப் இட்ஸ் அன் ஆர்கனைசேஷனல் ஸ்ட்ரக்சர், பீப்புள் ஃபீல் தட் systems and practice will be there. Is there or not is different. But what they feel is, if it is an LLP, okay, even though the same person will be driving it, they feel there is a systems and process there. It is not person dependent. And LLP can continue even after that individual is there. That is the perception. Okay. True or not depends upon each and every firm, each and every LLP. But the perception of the client is, if it's an LLP, if it's an entity, form of organization, there is more systems and practice, and it is system dependent, not person dependent. Not necessary, sir. It is not anywhere relevant to the status. It is a general perception which I am saying, which the client has. Like if I say I am SGK and LLP, they feel நான் இருக்கேன், அதாவது கோபால்ன்ற ஒருத்தன் இருக்கானோ இல்லையோ, மை டெலிவரபிள் வில் கெட் ப்ராப்பர்லி டன். எனக்கு என்ன வேலை வேணுமோ அது கரெக்டாக நடந்துரும்ன்றது ஒரு நம்பிக்கை. இஃப் இட்ஸ் அன் என்டிட்டி ஆர்கனைசேஷன் ரேதர் தென் அன் இண்டிவிஜுவல். இப்போ அதே கோபாலகிருஷ்ணன் நான் போய் கேட்டேன்னா, கிளைண்ட்டுக்கு ஃபஸ்ட்டு என்ன கொஸ்டின் கேட்குறேன், நீங்கள் இல்லைன்னா என்ன ஆகும்? கரெக்ட். ஃபஸ்ட்டு கொஸ்டின் தேர் ஆஸ்கிங் இஸ், சார் நீங்கள் எனக்கு எல்லாம் பண்ணி தரேன்றீங்க, அப்படி நீங்கள் இல்லைன்னா உங்கள் ஒர்க் நடக்குமா நடக்காதா? In case of an LLP, that question is not asked most often. Based on whatever small experience I have, it might be differing also. No sir, not required. That's what I am trying to tell you. It's not person dependent. அதுதான் நான் சொல்ல வந்தேன். இண்டிவிஜுவல் லோனில் சேர்த்தா பர்சனல் டிபெண்ட் வரும். LLP இருந்ததுன்னா இட் பிகம்ஸ் எ பிராண்ட் பை இட் செல்ஃப். அந்த நேம் இருக்கு இல்லையா, SGK and LLP or whatever LLP firm இருக்கு இல்லையா, that becomes the brand, that becomes the name. What I am trying to prove here is, or what I am trying to tell here is, when there is an individual practice, okay, அந்த பேர் இருக்கு இல்லையா, அந்த பர்டிகுலர் இண்டிவிஜுவலோட பேர் is the brand and it has limitations. Okay, when it is an LLP or an structure where there is an entity, a firm or an LLP, then that becomes the brand. ஸோ பீப்புள் என்ன ஃபீல் பண்ணுறாங்கன்னா, ஒரு இண்டிவிஜுவலோட ஒரு ஆர்கனைசேஷன் இங்கே இருக்குது, சரிங்களா, இங்கே ஒரு கம்பெனி இருக்குது, இங்கே ஒரு LLP இருக்குது, இந்த பர்சன் இருக்காரோ இல்லையோ என்னோடய வேலை நடந்துடும். அதுதான் இந்த கொஸ்டின். அவங்களுக்கு இந்த மைண்ட் செட் இஸ், அந்த ஆள் தான் உள்ளேயும் உட்காந்து பார்ட்னராக பண்ணுறாரு, அவர் தான் வேலை பண்ண போகிறார், அது இல்லை, அதை அவர் பார்க்குறது கிடையாது. ஓ இங்கே ஒரு கம்பெனி இருக்குப்பா, இது LLP, இது இண்டிவிஜுவல் கிடையாது, தே வில் பி ஏபிள் டு டூ த ஒர்க். இருக்காரோ இல்லையோ ஒர்க் நடக்கும். தட் இஸ் வாட் தே ஆர் ஃபீலிங். தட் இஸ் வை and networking is important, because it helps us to create a brand other than the individual. என்ன நம்ம ஒரு பேர் வைப்போம். Correct. That is the general perception we have, sir. Next one is, demand for umbrella service can be met. What is this umbrella service? Any idea? All in one place. Simple. நான் முன்னாடியே நம்ம பேசின மாதிரி இப்போ ரீசெண்ட் ட்ரெண்ட்ஸ் எப்படின்னா, இப்போ ரீசெண்டாக எல்லா ஸ்டார்ட் அப்ஸ் ஆல் வாட் எவர் இஸ் கம்மிங் அப், ஆல் தேர் ஆஸ்கிங் இஸ், சார் நான் உங்ககிட்ட வரேன், எனக்கு எல்லாத்தையும் நீங்களே முடிச்சு கொடுத்துருங்க, என்னை அலைய வைக்காதீங்க. ஓகே, திஸ் இஸ் ஃபார் த பேசிக் லெவல். லைக் சி, தேர் ஆர் எக்ஸ்பர்ட்ஸ், லெட் அஸ் லீவ் த எக்ஸ்பர்ட்ஸ் அவுட். தேர் ஆர் tax experts, GST experts, corporate law, FEMA experts are all there. They are like surgeons. ஓகே, அவளால் எக்ஸ்பர்ட் ஒப்பீனியன் பண்ண முடியும், அவளால் எல்லாம் பண்ண முடியும், அதில் கொஸ்டினே இல்லை. மை கொஸ்டின் இஸ் ஃபார் எ ப்ராக்டிஸ், ஓகே, விச் இஸ் அதர் தென் அன் எக்ஸ்பர்ட். ப்ராக்டிஸ் பண்ணணும்னா வி ஷுட் பி மாஸ்டர் ஆஃப் ஆல் ட்ரேட்ஸ் சொல்ல முடியாது, ஜாக் ஆஃப் ஆல் ட்ரேட்ஸ். மாஸ்டர் இன் நன். அதுவே கஷ்டம். ஏன்னா ஸோ லைக் வாட் வி சா, ஒரு நாளைக்கு ஒரு ஜிஎஸ்டி நோட்டிஃபிகேஷன் வந்துருக்கு, டேக்ஸ் சர்க்குலர் வருது, ஃபெமாவில் எவ்வளவோ சேஞ்சஸ் வருது. நம்மளால் அதெல்லாம் கண்டிப்பாக நம்மளால் அதெல்லாம் ஃபாலோ பண்ணிட்டு இருக்க முடியாது இண்டிவிஜுவலாக, கரெக்ட். பட் ஆனால் கிளைண்ட்டோட ரெக்குயர்மெண்ட் என்ன, நான் உள்ளே வருவேன், எனக்கு நீ எல்லாத்தையும் ஒன்றா பண்ணி கொடுத்துரு. ஸோ how will be that met? Networking answers that particular question. When, for example, நான் அக்கௌண்டிங்கில் நல்லா இருந்தேன்னா I can network with a person who is good in taxes. I can network with a person who is good in FEMA, who is good in company law. Okay, so networking helps us to ensure and the umbrella service model works. And umbrella service model is very important for us to develop the practice. ஏன்னு சொல்ல வரேன், ஏன்னா இப்போ when there is more than 2 CAs who are there, comparison automatically comes into picture. It will always be, சார் அவர் பண்ணுறார் சார், நீங்கள் ஏன் இப்படி கேட்குறீங்க, அவர் நல்லா பண்ணிட்டார், நீங்கள் சார் இது சரியில்லை. Okay, so it gives us opportunity to lose the business. But when I do everything, when I have the capability to do everything, which means basics of all GST compliance, tax compliance, accounting, corporate law விட்டுருங்க, secretarial விட்டுருங்க, RBI compliances, then it means that I can have a very good control of the client. Correct? Is it valid point? Networking allows us to achieve that. So this is one of the why we should ask. So இப்போ நான் கேட்கலாம், சார் இது என்ன எல்லாத்துலேயுமே இது கோபால் எல்லாத்துலேயுமே இதில் ஒர்க் ஆகுமா, தெரியாது. It depends upon the practice which you want. Okay, so the why which we are going to ask here, the benefits which we are seeing here is the why, and this why will differ from each and every person. Every person should answer this why based on his passion, based on what he wants to do, based on his environment where he is working. Okay, so this can be met by umbrella services. Next one, referral practice for inbound and outbound referrals. Okay, this is one of a side advantage of a networking. I will not say as a major why, but this is also one of the benefits when we get with networking. Because for example, I am in Tamil Nadu, I enter into a networking with a person who is in Karnataka. Please understand the geographical reach I have now. I have reach in 2 states, correct. Whenever there is a situation, whenever there is an accounting, I am good at accounting, that person is good at GST. So whenever there is an accounting work, that person will refer to me, and whenever I need a GST compliance, I can refer to him, and I can get referral fee, which is very well allowed under the CA regulations. So my networking increases my referrals also. Okay, it increases my source of income. Next, international exposure. It will be possible when we do a networking with international firms. Okay, this international exposure, because if I am going to be only local, I am not saying good or bad, again it depends upon what you want. For example, recent enoda client vathar vandar. Okay, so he has started a company in India, he wants to expand in US. Okay, so avaroda question enna, Gopal, do you know to start a company in US, Delaware? ஒரு கம்பெனி ஃபார்ம் பண்ண முடியுமா, எனக்கு ஃபார்ம் பண்ணி அதோட அக்கௌண்டிங் அதோட கம்ப்ளைன்சஸ் உங்களால் பண்ண முடியுமா? ஓகே, இட்ஸ் அ கொஸ்டின் ஹி ஆஸ்க்ட் மீ. மை ஆன்சர் வாஸ் சாரி, எனக்கு தெரியாது, இங்கே இந்தியாவிலேயே பாதி என்னால் சரியாக பண்ண முடியல. ஸோ யூ ஆர் ஆஸ்கிங் மீ சம்திங் இன் யூஎஸ். ஸோ ஐ செட் ஐ எம் நாட் பாசிபிள். தென் ஹி ஹேட் டு லுக் ஃபார் அவுட் சைடு. ஓகே, நவ் அவுட் சைடு ஆச்சுன்னா என்ன ஆகும்னா, one thing, the person who is there, whoever it is, let it be any bigger firms, if they have a far reach, our local practice is also going to them, correct. So once they take the international practice, they will also take the local practice, because as the client it will be advantageous for me that everything comes under one roof. எனக்கு எல்லாத்தையும் ஒத்தரே பண்ணி கொடுக்குறது, ஒத்தரோட பேசுறது, ஏதானும் இஷ்யூ ஏதானும் ப்ராப்ளம்னா நான் ஒருத்தர்கிட்ட பேசினா போகிறோம். ஓகே, தட் இஸ் how all big firms work, right. ஒரு அக்கௌண்ட்ஸ் லைக் அ பேங்க், ஒரு அக்கௌண்ட்ஸ் மேனேஜர் இருப்பார், என்ன ப்ராப்ளம்னா அவர்கிட்ட போயிடலாம். இன்டர்னலி அவர் எல்லார்கிட்டையும் போயிட்டு எல்லார்கிட்டையும் பேசிட்டு எல்லாத்தையும் பண்ணி தருவார். பட் there will be one person you will have to contact. நீங்கள் எல்லார்கிட்டையும் போய் பேசணும் அவசியமே கிடையாது. நீங்கள் ஒருத்தரை கால் பண்ணி ஏதான ப்ராப்ளம் சொல்லிட்டேன்னா he will do the necessary solutions, correct. That will be available in case of a networking, which will not be there in case of individual practice, because individual practice la you are everything, right? next why pooling of resources. இது நம்ம ஆல்ரெடி டிஸ்கஸ் பண்ணோம். நமக்கு எக்ஸ்பர்டைஸ் எவ்வளோ கம்மியாக இருக்கும் அதை கூட விட்ருங்க. எக்ஸ்பர்டைஸ் லெட் அஸ் கீப் இட் செப்பரேட். வாட் இஸ் எ ரிசோர்ஸ்? ஒரு ரிசோர்ஸ்னால் என்ன? எனக்கு ஒரு வேலை வந்திருக்கு, அதை பண்ணி கொடுக்க வேண்டிய திறமை இல்லை கெப்பாசிட்டி என்கிட்ட இருக்கணும். தட் இஸ் எ ரிசோர்ஸ். கரெக்டாக? A resource is something which will enable me to deliver the work which I have got now. Very simple, right? And the resource is very limited, because if I am an individual, I have only 24 hours, I can handle only so much client. Correct? I cannot go more than that. அதுக்கு மேலே போக எனக்கு சான்ஸ் இல்லை, ஏன்னா அவ்வளோதான் என்னால் பண்ண முடியும். ஸோ அதுக்கு மேலே போனோன்னா எனக்கு ரிசோர்ஸ் தேவை. அண்ட் எவ்வளோ தான் நான் வந்து இண்டிவிஜுவல் ரிசோர்ஸ் எடுத்தாலும் நீங்கள் கேட்கலாம் உடனே, சரி உங்கள் ஆஃபீஸில் ஸ்டாஃப் எம்ப்ளாய் பண்ணிக்க வேண்டியதானே? குட் கொஸ்டின். பட் அதையும் நான் தானே மேனேஜ் பண்ணணும். அண்ட் as an individual practitioner, how many of us will be willing to work under me? If I am an individual practitioner, how many CAs, how many seniors will be willing to work under me? Is also another question. So resource constraints will always be there, and that why will be answered by networking. If you have a networking, then you have a larger resource with you. ஏன்னா ரெண்டு பேர் இருக்காங்க, 2 firm இருக்குது, உங்களால் ஒன்று பண்ண முடியலையா, யூ கேன் கெட் அண்ட் ஹெல்ப் ஆஃப் அதர் firm with the same. நீங்களே எடுத்து நீங்களே பண்ணலாம். the only thing is it will not go out of your work area also. நம்மக்கிட்டே தான் இருக்கும் அந்த client, and we can continue to serve them in more areas which we have to do. Okay. Number 2, expertise. Very 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 apt expertise. I cannot be an expert in everything. Networking enables to answer that why. What is the practice I want to grow? What is the expertise I want to get? இந்த 2 questionum will be answered by that why, which will be the problem statement, the solution networking can give. So if I want to have an accounting practice with a GST practice, I am not an expert in GST, then this networking will give you an opportunity to get that expertise. Okay. ஏன்னா என்கிட்ட இருக்கணும்னு அவசியம் இல்லை. I can network with a person. Same thing applies for other branches of practice also. Experience and competency. Now, what is experience and competency a networking can bring? So when I project, இப்போ என்ன எடுத்துட்டீங்கன்னா 5 years, I can say I am 10 years in practice. என்னோட experience 15 years in practice. But when it is a networking, then it becomes the combined years of all the networking members. Networking அந்த பார்ட்னர்ஸில் இருக்கிறவங்களோட எல்லா பார்ட்னர்ஸோட எக்ஸ்பீரியன்ஸ் கெட்ஸ் ஆடட். ஸோ ஈவன் 4 பேரை எடுத்தாலும் 15 into 4, 60. So instead of 115 years, it will be 60 years of experience. And that is very important in brand building. When you project an experience, it's very important into building a brand, because you have 60 years of experience instead of 15 years of individual experience. Okay. Now what is that experience? It's a different matter altogether. Right? ஒரு கிளைண்ட்டுக்கு நம்ம ப்ரொஜெக்ட் பண்ணச்சே, நம்ம ஒரு கிளைண்ட்டுக்கு நம்ம ஒரு ஜாப் கேட்க போகிறச்சே, we will only say we have experience, 60 years is my cumulative experience. நம்ம என்னெல்லாம் பண்ணியிருக்கோன்னு யாரும் வந்து இண்டிவிஜுவலாக கேட்க போகிறது கிடையாது. அதே if I go with saying I have 15 years of experience sir அப்படின்னா, who will be selected? You can answer that question. It will be the person who has that 60. So that networking brings that particular advantage here, a benefit here, saying that the cumulative experience of network partners can help us to get more work. Similarly, competency. Once we have so many people, our competency will automatically increase. Okay. Because today, Gopal, an accounting firm, accounting practice, can tomorrow become Gopal, or whatever name we give for that LLP firm, or whatever we select for the networking. It can have a combined practice of GST also, income tax also, FEMA also, corporate law also, which means that networking has the benefit of increasing my competency, mine or not my practice competency. Okay. Gopal as an individual still will be competent only in accounting, no problem. But as a network, my competency is spread across various areas of practice now, which is very important because that will give growth to my business. Next, risk bearing capacity. It automatically increases because உங்களுக்கு நிறைய பேர் இருக்காங்க, முன்னாடி நீங்கள் ஒருத்தர் தான், anything and everything is on you. Now you have a network partner whom you can fall upon. Okay, whenever there is a risk, what are the types of risk we face? What are the types of risk we face as an individual practitioner? எந்த மாதிரி ரிஸ்க் நமக்கு வரும் சார்? ஹெல்த். வெரி குட் எக்ஸாம்பிள். ஹெல்த் இட்ஸ் அ ரிஸ்க் இல்லையா? நாளைக்கு நமக்கு உடம்பு சரியில்லை, ஜுரம் படுத்துட்டோம்னா நம்ம ஒர்க்கை யார் பாப்பா? That risk is getting mitigated in networking. ஏன்னா நமக்கு இப்போ ஒரு பேக்கப் இருக்குது, ரைட்? We have a person to whom we can say, I am sorry, I am not well. கிளைண்ட் கிட்ட போய் I am sorry, I am not well, இன்றைக்கி நான் இன்கம் டேக்ஸ் ரிட்டர்ன் ஃபைல் பண்ண மாட்டேன், நான் வந்து 31st ஜூலையில் ஃபைல் பண்ணிக்கிறேன், சாரி 30th செப்டம்பரில் ஃபைல் பண்ணுறேன், டேக்ஸ் ஆடிட் என்னால் பண்ண முடியல, எனக்கு ஆக்சிடென்ட் ஆகிடுச்சு அப்படின்னு நம்ம சொன்னோன்னா, that practice is not there with us. Very simple. Okay, but networking helps us to avoid all the risk. Similarly, knowledge risk also, right? Our knowledge risk, even let us take both are accounting knowledge, right? Both are accountants, both are expert in accountant or GST, whatever it is. இப்போ ரெண்டு பேர் இருக்காங்க உங்களுக்கு. ஸோ நீங்கள் ஏதாவது மிஸ் பண்ணாலும் the other person is there to back you up. Okay, which is not the case of individual because everything you are. தப்பு பண்ணாலும் நீங்கள் தான், கரெக்ட் பண்ணாலும் நீங்கள் தான், இண்டிவிஜுவலாக இருக்கிறச்சு. But in a networking that gets spread out because there is another person who can pitch in, who can say, hey Gopal, you are doing is wrong, இந்த மாதிரி இல்லை, ஆக்ட் மாறிடுது, right? That is there in case of a networking. It's a benefit which you have in networking which is not there in individual practice. Next, promote specialization, exposure to various clients, builds confidence. Promote specialization. இது எப்படி specialization promote பண்ணும்? ஏன்னா example I said, individual is already an expert. For example, I am already expert in accounting. I take a network partner who is expert in GST, right? Now the networking firm which I have is an expert in accounting and GST, right? I can still concentrate more on my accounting practice. That other person can still concentrate more on GST practice, become an expert in that. Because earlier I would not have that time. ஏன்னா எனக்கு வந்து நிறைய வேலை வந்துடும், நான் வெறும் ஜிஎஸ்டி மட்டும் பண்ணிட்டு இருக்க மாட்டேன். போய் ரிட்டர்ன் ஃபைல் பண்ணிட்டு அதுக்கப்புறம் அக்கௌண்டிங் பார்க்குறது, ஆடிட் பண்ணுறது, அதுக்கப்புறமா சைன் போடுறது, எல்லாத்தையும் நான் பார்க்கணுன்னா என்னோட ஜிஎஸ்டியில் என்னால் கான்சன்ட்ரேட் பண்ண முடியாது. That time available for me is very limited. Now I have another person who is good at GST, I am good at accounting, I can become an expert in that. I can grow in that. I can do more like automation பண்ண முடியுமா, ஏஐல என்ன பண்ண முடியும், இப்போ நிறைய வந்திருக்கு, ஏஐல பண்ணலாமா, அக்கௌண்டிங்கில் எதெல்லாம் பண்ணலாம்னா, that networking gives me the time to develop my expertise. Okay, that is not there in case of an individual, which will not be available for him provided he wants to expand. Okay, if he is satisfied with single practice, no problem, but if he wants to expand, if he wants to have an expert group, then networking is one of the options available for him. Next, employee retention, attract talent and return. இப்போ நம்ம முன்னாடி ஒரு வாட்டி பார்த்தோம், இண்டிவிஜுவல்ஸாக இருக்கிறச்சே what happens is the employees don't get that visibility, correct? When it's a networking, two things happen. One, employees have the benefit of working across various aspects. For example, என் firmல ஒரு CA join பண்ணாரு, நான் அக்கௌண்டிங் மட்டும் பண்ணால் அவரும் அக்கௌண்டிங் மட்டும் தான் பண்ணிட்டு இருப்பார். Now when I develop my network, when I have a networking firm, then what happens is I can have cross border, like சரிப்பா இந்த கொஞ்ச நாள் ஒரு 3 மாதம் நீ அங்கே போய் அங்கே ஜிஎஸ்டி எதாவது இருக்கா அவங்களுக்கு பண்ண, இப்போ இது ஜிஎஸ்டியா 99C வருது, அப்போ அங்கே போய் நீ ஹெல்ப் பண்ணு, you will also learn, you will also understand more, you will also have a different work which you will be doing rather than the accounting work alone. அதே மாதிரி அந்த நெட்வொர்க்கிங் பார்ட்னர் என்ன சொல்லலாம், அப்போ ஆடிட் வருது, ஸோ அக்கௌண்ட்ஸ்லாம் க்ளோஸ் பண்ணணும், இப்போ you can go there. There can be always an intermingling of knowledge which will not be there in case of individual because he has to work only under me, and whatever practice I have, that is what the employee also has to concentrate. And nowadays, given the situation, an employee always wants to know more. Even if it's a BCom graduate, அவளுக்கு எப்பவுமே நிறைய கற்றுக்கணும், வெறும் ஒன்றே பண்ணியிருந்தால் போர் அடிச்சு போய்டுறது, and they go off from the firm. So again, இந்த ப்ராப்ளம் என்னென்னா அவங்க போகிறத பற்றி இல்லை, இட்ஸ் வெரி குட், தே கோ அவுட், தே க்ரோ. பட் இப்போ நம்மளோட சுச்சுவேஷன் எடுத்துக்கோங்க, ஒரு 3 years இன்வெஸ்ட் பண்ணி ஒருத்தரை டெவலப் பண்ணி திருப்பி வில் ஹாவ் டு இன்வெஸ்ட் த 3 years, then when we will grow? It's an important question to answer. That employee retention is possible, is a benefit we have when do a networking, because an employee can have various opportunities to work with. ஒரே ஒன்று இல்லாமல் he can get across various opportunities. Next, professional standing and client serving capacity improves. This we already saw. ஒரு நம்ம இதை ஆல்ரெடி பார்த்தோம், அம்பர்லா சர்வீசஸ் பண்ணுறது, இல்லை ஒரு கிளைண்ட்டுக்கு சர்வீஸ் பண்ணுறது, லெட் இட் பி ஈவன் அம்பர்லா சர்வீஸ் விட்டுருங்க, எனி சர்வீஸ் we can take. It always improves the client serviceability because you now have more people. முன்னாடி நீங்கள் ஒரு வேலையை 1 monthல முடிச்சிங்கன்னா, இப்போ you have people to complete it in 15 days, you have another time to take new client, and you can do much better than what you were doing earlier because you have the time now. When I say client servicing, very simple, MIS கூட எடுத்தீங்கன்னா ஒரு அனாலிசிஸ் பண்ணி கொடுக்கறதுக்கு நமக்கு டைம் இருக்காது if you are an individual. ஏன்னா we will get அடுத்த கிளைண்ட் வரும், 4 கிளைண்ட்டை நான் ஆன்சர் பண்ணணும், ஸோ இந்த ஒரு கிளைண்ட்டுக்கே உட்காந்து நான் அனாலிசிஸ் என்னால் பண்ண முடியாதா இருக்கும். பட் இஃப் ஐ ஹாவ் டைம், I will be able to do that analysis. I will have a much better deliverable for the client than when I am doing as an individual practitioner. Dependence on one client reduces. Because networking la, because நான் முன்னாடி சொன்ன மாதிரி தான், வெரி சிம்பிள். அக்கௌண்டிங்னா இப்போ சத்திக்கு நான் அக்கௌண்டிங் கிளைண்ட் எடுக்க முடியும், ஜிஎஸ்டி கிளைண்ட் எடுக்க முடியும், இல்லை டேக்ஸ் ப்ராக்டிஸ் பண்ணேன்னா டேக்ஸ் கிளைண்ட்ஸ் மட்டும் எடுக்க முடியும். பட் இஃப் ஐ ஹேவ் எ நெட்வொர்க்கிங், ஐ கேன் ஹேவ் த சேம் கிளைண்ட், பட் இட் கேன் பி ஆன் அதர் ஏரியாஸ் ஆஃப் ப்ராக்டிஸ் ஆல்சோ, அண்ட் ஐ கேன் பிரிங் நியூ கிளைண்ட்ஸ் ஆல்சோ. இன்னொரு கிளைண்ட்டுக்கு எனக்கு அக்கௌண்டிங் மட்டும் தேவைப்பட்டதுன்னா ஐ கேன் டேக் இட் அப், பிகாஸ் ஸ்டில் ஐ வில் கெட் அ ரெஃபரல் ஃபீ. மை நெட்வொர்க்கிங் பார்ட்னர் வில் டூ த ஒர்க், பட் ஐ வில் ஸ்டில் கெட் த ரெஃபரல் ஃபீ. கரெக்டாக? ஸோ இட் இன்க்ரீசஸ் மை சோர்ஸ் ஆஃப் ரெவென்யூ அண்ட் ரெடியூசஸ் கிளைண்ட் டிபெண்டன்சி. ஒரு கிளைண்ட் மேலே மட்டும் இல்லாமல், ஒரு சிங்கிள் கிளைண்ட்டாக மட்டும் இல்லாமல், நிறைய கிளைண்ட் நமக்கு இட் ஸ்ப்ரெட்ஸ் த கிளைண்ட் பேஸ் பேசிக்கலி. when it is a networking, the client base spreads across. ஏன்னா we have the opportunity to serve more and also faster. இது வரைக்கும் we have just completed. I just want to know if there is anything we can discuss on this. Then we can go to the next slide. Any points which you want to add so that everyone can benefit? It's because I've been talking so long, but if there is any points to share where everyone can benefit, it will be very useful.
If I am taking accounts of one client, can my network person do the attestation?
Can do the?
Attestation?
No. No. The institute rules doesn't allow you to do that. Correct, sir. That is also networking, thane, sir. கரெக்ட், நான் அப்படி சொல்லவே இல்லை. கரெக்ட், நீங்கள் சொல்கிறது ரொம்ப கரெக்ட். இப்போ நான் வந்து 2 ஃபேமாக இருக்கேன் சார், நான் 2 ஃபேமில் இருந்தேன்னா ஒருத்தர் வந்து அட்டெஸ்ட் பண்ணலாம், நான் அக்கௌண்டிங் பண்ணிட்டு போகலாமே, இந்த இதில் எனக்கு அந்த ஆப்பர்ச்சுனிட்டி இல்லையேனா. பட் that gets compensated with your advisory services, GST services, your tax services. ஏன்னா நம்ம வந்து அதை தான் சொல்ல வந்தேன், நம்ம ஒரு ப்ராக்டிஸ் பண்ணிச்சு நம்ம என்ன பண்ணுவோம், அக்கௌண்டிங் பண்ணுவோம், ஜிஎஸ்டி பண்ணுவோம், எல்லாம் பண்ணுவோம். நீங்கள் என்ன சொல்கிறேன், இன்னொரு ஃபார்ம் எடுத்தால் நான் ஆடிட் அதை பண்ணிட்டு போகலாமேன்றேன். இப்போவும் நம்ம அதே தானே நானும் சொல்கிறேன், ஆடிட் இன்னொரு ஃபார்ம் பண்ணிட்டு போட்டோம். கரெக்ட். Correct, sir. That is also area of practice. நான் இல்லைன்னே சொல்ல, அதுவும் நெட்வொர்க்கிங் தான், அதை தான் நான் சொல்ல வரேன். தட் ஆல்சோ இஸ் நாட், கண்டிப்பாக அதுவும் நெட்வொர்க்கிங் தான் நான் சொல்கிறேன். தட் இஸ் ஆல்சோ நெட்வொர்க்கிங் தானே. Absolutely, absolutely. Correct, absolutely. அதுதான் நான் சொல்ல வந்தேன் சார், ஃபஸ்ட்டே நான் சொல்ல வந்தேன், இந்த வை ஆன்சர் பண்ணுறது இஸ் வெரி இம்பார்ட்டண்ட். கரெக்ட், அதுதான் சொல்ல வந்தேன். அப்சல்யூட்லி ரைட், கரெக்ட். That's what I said. That's what I said. This networking is like a marriage. எல்லாருக்கும் எல்லாமே கரெக்டுன்னு சொல்ல முடியாது. அதை நான் சொல்ல வந்தேன். ஒருத்தருக்கும் ஒரு இன்ட்ரெஸ்ட் இருக்கும், ஒரு பேஷன் இருக்கும். சார் சொன்ன மாதிரி he wants to be an expert in a specific place. அதை நான் பண்ணிட்டு போகிறேன், இன்னொருத்தர் பண்ணிட்டேன். Absolutely right. But that also you said one person will take on work, one person will. That is also networking. That's what I am trying to tell. இங்கே என்னோட பாயிண்ட் என்னன்னா, இண்டிவிஜுவல் வேண்டாம், பார்ட்னர்ஸே வேண்டான்றேண்ணா. பட் தட் இஸ் ஆல்சோ நெட்வொர்க் தான் நான் சொல்ல வரேன். See, what is a network, sir? Very simple, basically. உங்களால் தனியாக பண்ண முடியாது. You will associate yourself with another person. Whether registered, unregistered, அதை விட்டுருங்க. That is only documentation part. Correct? That is a technical part. அதை விட்டுருங்க. I am asking, when you join with another person to do work, that is networking. Very simple. Correct தானே? When you, as an individual, உங்களால் பண்ண முடியாது. பட் எனக்கு ஒரு ஏரியா ஆஃப் எக்ஸ்பர்டைஸ் இருக்குது. எனக்கு வந்து டேக்ஸ் தான் பண்ணணும். நான் வந்து எல்லா பிஸ்னஸ் பண்ணி தரேன், நான் அந்த ஒப்பீனியன்ஸ் கொடுக்குறது அதெல்லாம் நான் பார்த்துக்கிறேன். ஐ ஹேவ் அனதர் ஃபர்ம், தே வில் டூ ஆல் த எக்ஸிக்யூஷன் பார்ட். தட் இஸ் ஆல்சோ நெட்வொர்க்கிங். அண்ட் இயர் ஐ எம் டெவலப்பிங் இன் ஒன் ஏரியா, லைக் ஃபார் எக்ஸாம்பிள் ஜிஎஸ்டி, இன்கம் டேக்ஸ், ஃபெமா, அந்த மாதிரி ஒரு ஏரியாவை நான் பார்த்து நான் பண்ணுறேன். அப்சல்யூட்லி ஓகே. இல்லை எனக்கு அப்படி வேண்டாம், ஐ வாண்ட் அ குரூப், ஐ வாண்ட் டு க்ரோ பிக், எனக்கு வந்து நான் வந்து மல்டி ஃபர்மாக இருக்கணும், மல்டி டெலிவரபிள் ஃபர்மாக இருக்கணும். தட் இஸ் ஆல்சோ ஓகே. What I was trying to prove and what I am trying to say here is, ஒரு இண்டிவிஜுவலாக உங்களுக்கு பண்ணுறதோட நெட்வொர்க்கிங் will enable you to achieve more in whatever way you want, in whatever area you want to grow. That choice is yours. அதுதான் இந்த why answering is very important. Maybe இந்த why answeringல expertise, you already have that. Then that why is not required. That's not your problem statement. Your problem statement might be execution, resource. Correct? That might be the problem statement. So இந்த ஒரு பெனிஃபிட்டும் is a problem statement which is getting answered, and each and every one of us will have their own problem statements. அந்த why ஆன்சர் பண்ணாதான் networking will be successful. ஆல்ரெடி சார் சொன்ன மாதிரி then it will be like ஒரு வாட்டி உள்ளே போயிட்டோம், then it will be a problem for us. அது networking will become a problem for us. Instead of it solving a problem statement, networking will be a problem because you have to handle egos of all the people. ப்ளீஸ் அண்டர்ஸ்டாண்ட் தட். ஜஸ்ட் பிகாஸ் எனக்கு பிஸ்னஸ் வரும், நான் பிஸ்னஸ் டெவலப் பண்ணோம், எனக்கு எல்லாத்தையும் நான் ஒரு 10 பேரை கூப்பிட்டுக்கிறேன், நடக்காது. ஸோ த ஆன்சர் இஸ், வாட் இஸ் த வை, வாட் இஸ் த ப்ராப்ளம் ஸ்டேட்மெண்ட் யூ வாண்ட் டு ஆன்சர். தட் இஸ் வெரி இம்பார்ட்டன்ட். நம்ம பார்த்த இந்த பெனிஃபிட்ஸ் எல்லாத்துக்கும் வி ஷுட் ஹேவ் அன் ஆன்சர். அப்படி பண்ணோன்னா தென் வி வில் பி வெரி கிளியர் whether the networking will work for us, what type of networking we want, whom we have to join, whom we don't have to join. Because he is an expert. See, that's what I said. See, I
network, there will be more visibility.
Absolutely right.
Getting into a network is a separate, what do you say, it's a separate circle.
Correct.
You should not get to that. Once you get to that, you should not come back. And getting into that, it's a task.
Correct.
And once you finish the task, you get into a group of 10 people. You cannot dilute it to 1 or 2. Either it should be 8 or 11. It cannot be maximum 10% difference should be there. You cannot go down below 6 or 7. No, it cannot happen. That's not a network at all.
So his point is very valid in the sense that he is saying, I am satisfied. I have an expert. Example, sir, tax எடுத்துக்கலாமா? I am an expert in tax. Okay. People across India value my opinion. Very simple. For me, I can name, people will come, but I don't have person to execute. எனக்கு அதுக்கு ஒரு நெட்வொர்க் தேவை, அதுக்கு ஒரு ஆள் தேவை. ஈ சேயிங் இஸ் அப்சல்யூட்லி ரைட். நான் 2 பேர் போகணும் சார், எனக்கு என்னோட எக்ஸ்பர்ட் இஸ் தேர் டேக்ஸ், ஐ எம் ஹாப்பி வித் தட், அண்ட் ஐ ஹேவ் மை பர்சன் ஹூ வில் எக்ஸிக்யூட் ஆல் தி.
More people for execution, after that, I can put them, what do you say, I can hire them, sort of, I can associate.
கேஸ் டு கேஸ் பேசிஸ் ஹையர் பண்ணிவிட்டு அதுக்கப்புறம் முடிச்சு.
Create my revenue, that is not.
Correct. See, I will put myself into a business development role, and of course I will put more people below me so that I have more people for
But I cannot
executing.
share the work and share the keys also. Work will get done. Today I do 10 work, I do 100 works also. Whether I need to have 5-6 partners and equal, that's clear. It's the question.
And it all depends upon.
I tell you what's the other thing is that, see, maybe somewhere Gopal himself said that there is the expectation from the client that some kind some limitation which will be there.
That also can be done provided you are organized. A person is able to organize himself with everything. He is able to do it with 2-3 firms he is signing up.
அதுதான் சார் சொன்ன வந்தேன் சார். தட் இஸ் வாட் இஸ் கால் நெட்வொர்க்கிங்.
That network, what I'm trying to tell is you do not have 2-3 peers to do all those things.
கரெக்ட் சார்.
Because one person can do provided he is got that passion.
Sir, that is what I told already. You are absolutely come to the point. That is what I am also trying to tell. Like, networking is where you are not committed to each and every other to be a partner or a member. Networking is where I give the work, let us execute it, joining hands for this particular work.
It need not be informed the institute, is it?
No, sir. There are two things. Unregistered is also there, registered is there. But for CA Institute regulations, if you want to have a networking, you will have to register it. Sure, sir. Kandipa. சரி, நான் அதை முடிச்சுனா then we can discuss on this. So, like I told earlier, I have a limited experience in our firm. Our firm had a limited experience of where we were and where we grow in this networking to alliance, merger, everything. So, பார்த்தீங்கன்னா 1993 we had A&A, AAGJ, it is also our firm. Then we consulted a brand person and said, okay, we have to have something called Guruvanjana. That is a separate topic, branding enna adala appuram paakalam, but our growth is then we became Guruvanjana, and there we thought, okay, networking pannalama ena Guruvanjana oru place la dhaan irukom nangalaala spread panna mudiyuma nu solli we entered into an alliance called Bad Catch was across India. Delhi la irundanga, Calcutta, Mumbai, Hyderabad, Kerala, then Gujarat side, Ahmedabad. We had lot of alliance partners. And again, இதெல்லாம் வந்து அச்சீவ்மெண்ட்ஸ்க்காக சொல்லவில்லை. There were so many failures here. Bad Catch was a failure. Our Bad Catch alliance was a failure because we didn't have our expectations clearly. It was purely சார் சொன்ன மாதிரி எனக்கு வேலை வந்தது, நான் வேலையை பண்ணி முடிச்சு கொடுத்துட்றேன், காசை கொடுத்துருங்க, முடிஞ்சு போயிடுது. Okay, sir.
Can we have a different name for the networking model?
Yes, sir, we can have.
That need not represent the partner's name or something like that. The identity can be.
Yes, sir. இப்போ A and Co, B and Co can have a networking C and Co.
For example, you brought in the bank card from there.
ஆமாம் சார், அதான் சொன்னேன், தேவையில்லை. சி ஓகே, இதில் நான் கனெக்ட் பண்ணோன்னா எப்படி வேணாலும் கனெக்ட் பண்ணலாம். G I can say as Guruvanjana, B as one partner. So name I can interpret any way I want. Okay, sir. So we had a Bad Catch was a failure. ஏன்னா we didn't have the answers for any of the why. We just came, எங்களுக்கு என்ன தோணித்துனா, ஓகே ஒர்க் பண்ணலாமா, நிறைய ஒர்க் வரும், நிறைய ஒர்க் எடுத்துக்கலாம், எல்லோரும் பண்ணலாம் அப்படின்னு சொல்லிட்டு we tried. It was a failure because we didn't have a proper documentation, a proper process, a proper idea of why we need a network. It was purely for the purpose of execution of work. And let me tell you very clearly, purely for the purpose of execution of work, networking will not succeed. Because there will always be an high and low. One partner will say, I brought so much work, you didn't give me any work. Other person will say, no, I did this, you didn't do this. So at a matter of time, if work alone is your why for a networking, most of the cases it will fail. For us also, there was a reason Bad Catch didn't work. Then what we did Bad Catch, then we said, okay, failed, we came out of that and all that. And now we thought, okay, let us go international. Okay, local, domestic we didn't work, let us go international. ASNAF is an international association of all accountants, like Indonesia, Singapore. Okay, because what happened is at that point of time that boom was there. Or 2011-12 and the India that software boom was there. People started having subsidiaries here, branch at and head office at outside India. So avala enna ketana enga clients la vandu can we have some person who is working in Singapore, எனக்கு சிங்கப்பூர்ல head office வைக்கணும், ஏன்னா அங்கே பேட்டன்ட் ஸ்டேட் மார்க்ஸ்லாம் ரொம்ப நல்லா இருந்தது, நான் அங்கே ஹெட் ஆஃபீஸ் ஆரம்பிக்கிறேன், இங்கே பிரான்ச் இங்கே வந்து என் சப்சிடரி இருக்கட்டும். So all that there were lot of questions. So அந்த மாதிரி இருக்கிறச்சு ASNAF we thought we will work out, but again we did the same mistake what we did in Bad Catch. அது domestic, இது international. We only went for work. We never thought like, okay, we should have a brand, இந்த கம்பெனி இவ்வளோ பெருசாக ஆக்கணும், இங்கே வந்து it should be spread across, இந்த ASNAF name should be well known in India. அதெல்லாம் நாங்கள் யோசிக்கல. எங்களுக்கு வேலை வருதா, whether we are able to do that work, எங்களோட நெட்வொர்க்கிங் பார்ட்னர்ஸ் அதர் ஒர்க்கை முடிச்சு கொடுக்குறாங்களா, அதோடு நின்று போச்சு. ஸோ அகெயின் வி ஃபெயில்ட் இயர், இட் டிடன்ட் கோ த்ரூ. பிகாஸ் what happens in a network is, it is not only doing of work, it is also of your knowledge. உங்க ரெண்டு பேரும் மிங்கிள் ஆறீங்க. ஸோ த ப்ராசஸ் வில் பி தேர், த சிஸ்டம்ஸ் வில் பி தேர். அங்கே எம்ப்ளாயி, ஏன்னா நெட்ஒர்க் இருக்கிறச்சே ரெண்டு பேர் பார்க்கறச்சே உடனே வரும். அந்த எம்ப்ளாயி இந்த எம்ப்ளாயி பார்ப்பாங்க, பேசிப்பாங்க. ஸோ தே வில் சே அந்த நெட்ஒர்க் பார்ட்னர் ஆஃபீஸில் எப்படி இருக்குது, நம்ம ஆஃபீஸில் எப்படி இருக்குது. ஸோ வாட் வில் ஹேப்பன் இஸ், யூ ஷுட் சார் இதில் அதுதான் சொன்னேன், இதை ரேட்டிங்கே கிடையாது சார். என்னோடய ரேட்டிங் உங்களுக்கு ஒர்க் ஆகும்னு அவசியமே இல்லை. நான் ஏன் ஃபெயிலியர் சொன்னேன்னா, என்னால் அதை கண்டினியூ பண்ண முடியல. அந்த நெட்ஒர்க்கில் நான் இல்லை, அதை விட்டு வெளில வந்துட்டேன், தட்ஸ் அ ஃபெயிலியர். அவ்வளோதான். நான் வந்து காசு சம்பாதிச்சேன் இல்லையானா அடுத்த விஷயம் சார். தட் இஸ் நாட் த கொஸ்டின் ஐ எம் ஆன்சரிங் ஹியர். கரெக்ட் கரெக்ட். Correct. அது வேஸ்ட்டாக இன்வெஸ்ட்மெண்ட் ஆனது இஸ் வாட் த கொஸ்டின் வி ஹேவ் டு ஆன்சர் சார். தட்ஸ் வாட். சி வென் வி, எப்போவுமே நான் அதை சொல்ல வந்தேன், நான் உள்ள ஒன்று போர்ச்சே எனக்கு அது தெரியாத வேஸ்ட் ஆகும்ட்டு. தட் மீன்ஸ் வி வில் நாட் கோ, இல்லையா? நெருப்புன்னு தொட்டு யாருமே தொடமாட்டோம். நெருப்புனா நம்ம வெளில வந்துடுவோம். பட் வென் வி என்டர் வி ஃபெல்ட் தட் நோ தெர் இஸ் சம் பெனிஃபிட் ஃபார் ஆல் ஆஃப் அஸ். தட் இஸ் ஹவ் வி என்டர். அதுதான் நான் சொல்ல வந்தேன். த கொஸ்டின்ஸ் விச் வி ஹேவ் இன் எனிவே வி வில் ஹேவ் தோஸ் கொஸ்டின்ஸ் அகெயின். ஒய், வாட் ஆர் வி ரெடி? தேர்ஸ் அ ஸ்லைட் ஹியர். ஸோ நம்ம அந்த ஒய்யை ஆன்சர் பண்ணோன்னு வச்சுக்கோங்களேன். இஃப் யூ ஆர் வெரி கிளியர் ஆன் த ப்ராப்ளம் ஸ்டேட்மெண்ட் விச் இஸ் ஒய், தென் ஒன்லி நெட்வொர்க் வில் சக்சீட். ஓகே, டில் தட் டைம் இட் வில் பி ஒன்லி ஒர்க்கிங். ஒர்க்கிங் இஸ் டிஃப்ரெண்ட் ஃப்ரம் சக்சீடிங். வேலை வந்தது நான் வேலை பண்ணி கொடுக்குறேன் இஸ் நாட் நெட்வொர்க்கிங். தட் வி வில் ஹேவ் டு be very clear on that. எனக்கு எல்லா வேலையும் பண்ண முடியும், தட் இஸ் நாட் நெட்வொர்க்கிங். தட் இஸ் நாட் தி அல்டிமேட் objective of networking. Basically the objective of networking is to ensure that we grow and build a brand. ஓகே, சிஏ ப்ராக்டிஸை ஒரு பிராண்டாக பில்ட் பண்ணுறதுக்கு தான் நெட்வொர்க் இருக்குமே தவிர, எல்லா வேலையும் வந்துருச்சு நான் பண்ணி முடிச்சிட்டேன்றதுக்கு இஸ் நாட் த நெட்வொர்க். ஸோ தென் 2020 we had HLB. HLB is an international organization across the world, and this was, I'll say, a fairly good success because we were able to implement lot of processes. We were able to implement lot of systems எங்களோட firmல. So HLB was to me a success because it helped me create systems and practices. What is good practice? Because they are all international organization. நமக்கு இல்லைன்னு சொல்லலை, பட் இட் ஹெல்ப்ட் அஸ் ப்ரிவென்ட். ஏன்னா ஒரு வாட்டி உள்ள வரச்சேவே they will ask so many questions. They will do a due diligence of yours. They will see what is your audit practice. எவ்வளோ ஆடிட் முடிஞ்ச அப்புறம் they will be a person who will be coming and reviewing our work. So what happens is it enables us to put our systems and practices much better. Number 2, employees, HR policies. They had very good HR policies which we were able to implement. ஏன்னா இப்போ டுடே ஃப்ரம் எ ஸ்மால் ஆர்கனைசேஷன் டு பிக் ஆர்கனைசேஷன் க்ரோ பண்ணனா எம்ப்ளாயீஸ் ஆர் வெரி இம்பார்ட்டண்ட். திஸ் எம்ப்ளாய் அண்ட் விச் மீன்ஸ் ஐ ஷுட் ஹேவ் எ வெரி குட் எம்ப்ளாயி பாலிசி அண்ட் HR பாலிசி ஷுட் பி வெரி ஸ்ட்ராங். ஸோ இட் ஹெல்ப்ட் அஸ் டூ தட். அதே மாதிரி ஆட்டோமேஷன், டெக்னாலஜி, they all helped us to bring, because an individual I will be very limited in technology. என்னோட ரிசோர்ஸ், என்னோட knowledge will be very limited, but they helped us in bringing out that particular technology because they are worldwide. ஏன்னா ஒருத்தரோட நீங்கள் என்டையர் வேர்ல்டோட டெக்னாலஜி அங்கே அவைலபிளாக இருந்தது. ஸோ we can be able to implement what is required for us. With that knowledge we bought iFidelity ன்னு ஒரு கம்பெனி வாங்கினோம். Then we merged that into our firm. Mysoreல we opened offices which was very big, like a back office, and then now we have formed an alliance. Okay, like what I told, networking is only toe in water approach. இதெல்லாம் பண்ணிட்டு the ultimate end is KGS, which is the alliance. Alliance is nothing but where we want to grow big, where we have a bigger firm. எப்படி இருக்கும்னா இப்போ sorry sir network is where you still have a separate identity. You have a firm, okay, there is another firm, you both join together to work. Alliance is also there where you will have one firm, you will have another firm, but you will have a third firm which will be combination of both of your firms, and over a period of time these two firms merge into that firm. So ultimately pathina networking, alliance, merger, that is where the growth is always there. That is where you become big. Yeah, third firm is allowed. Yeah. That's an different firm altogether. It is not the same firm. It's a different firm altogether. It has to be registered as a.
All the partners of the entity will be the partners there.
Not all. There might be. The ultimate aim is that. What you are saying is absolutely right, sir. The ultimate aim is that all the firms which are there in the alliance should merge together as one single firm. Starting point is to have one firm there. Before that, the starting point is networking, because that will give a feel like whether all of us can work together, can be there for such a long period of time. So this is what our small journey is, from where I had few experiences which I am sharing with all of you now.
The alliance of ICA. Okay. An alliance of ICA.
That is registered under ICA, so we call it as Alliance of ICA. Both domestic association, international association, all of them work in more or less same logic, same base. Okay, I've just taken as international association. It's applicable for both domestic and international. How does it work basically? How does an international association work? So it's an association of independent accounting firms. They do not provide professional service in their own name, which means that networking will not provide services in their old name. You will provide the services. It will be in your name. They will bring the service. That's all. So the networking HLB or whatever I called about, those firms don't do the work in their own name because they are not allowed to do. Very simple. You will do the work in your name. They will bring the work. Okay. Each firm is a separate legal entity in the network, which is very clear. Central offices, LP corporate. This is where the advantage is there. What happens is, in case there will be a central office also which will monitor all the entities or firms here. When I say monitoring, they will have an overall look at the top, which enables them to set the systems, process, technology. We can have a common technology. We can have a common HR policy, which is best. Which can have, then we can have an office. So all that, the central office will be there, which will monitor each and every firm or each and every member firm. Cost of coordinating the network is funded by the member firm. So this is very important, because an international association of firms can charge roughly around 10,000, 20,000 USD as a fee, because they have to rent, they have to have their office, they have to work. Okay. So the first question which I told is the why statement. Is there a benefit for me of this? Which has to be answered. Before joining, we have to be very clear what is the fees which will be there, what is the benefit we will get. Okay, that is very important, because ultimately when there is no economic resource available for me, there is no use in me joining the network. Then the network does not wish to make profit out of its member. What does it mean is, it's not that the individual member firms will make profit, but the network as a whole will not be a profit making entity. It's only an entity which will group together all the people, project it, get work. The work will be done by the individual entities only. Okay. So the networking will not do the work, it will be the individual entities who will do the work. They will not be making a profit. It is not for profit, the network firm I am talking about. So it's applicable for both global and domestic. What should you see? How many independent network the association boasts? Sorry, there is a typo there, boast. Which means in that network of association, how many people are there? மொத்தமாக ரெண்டு பேருன்னு வச்சுக்கோங்களேன். அந்த அசோசியேஷன் நமக்கு போவே தேவையில்லை. ஏன்னா ஃபார் எக்ஸாம்பிள் வி ourselves can look for something much better. Okay, so if there is only two members in that association, then what is the scalability I will get there? And also very important, how many countries or how many states they are present. For domestic, we have to see how many states. So for example, Tamil Nadu உன்னொருத்தர் இருந்தான்னு வச்சுக்கோங்களேன், there is no use in I joining that network, because that will be a competition for me. Networking members kulle competition vandrum, which should not be there. So when we choose a network, we will have to see which geographical location they are also, and how many geographical locations they are present. That is very important. ஏன்னா ஒரே ஸ்டேட்டில் ஒரே கண்ட்ரிலேயே 10 பேர் இருந்ததுன்னா, the problem is how will the work get allocated? Okay, again, if a work is coming, 10 பேர் ஒரு ஒர்க்கை பண்ண முடியாது, யாராவது ஒரு ஃபர்முக்கு போகணும். Then again, the amount of work we will get, the probability of amount of work you will get gets reduced. So you will have to be very clear when you are joining a network to see state also, country also, outside location. If it's an international, how many countries they are present? And in our country, how many people are there? How many are members in the firm? It's very important for us to see, because that is based on which the work will come to you. Next, what quality control measure that association is? So this is also because number we have to build a brand, which means we have to have a system practice. When we have to have a system and practice, quality is very important. So we will have to see what is that association is bringing for us in terms of quality. Na pandra work order, what is that they add a value? That is very important to answer in a network, because na pandra work avarum pannaradha irundadhu vechukanga, then there is no use in I having a network except for having additional member. Like sir sonna mari kadasila it will be additional members, 10 பேர் இருப்போம், 15 பேர் இருப்போம், 20 பேர் இருப்போம், கடசில அதே work தான் பண்ணிட்டு இருப்போம், which will not be of any use. What is the quality control? What is the additional value they add? That is very important in case of a network. Fee sharing structure. This is again very important, because ultimately any networking, the success depends upon the economic resource which it brings to the members, right? நான் நெட்வொர்க்கில் இருந்திருக்கேன், நான் கிட்டத்தட்ட 10 வருஷமாக நெட்வொர்க்கில் இருக்கேன், எனக்கு 3 வேலை பண்ணியிருக்கேன்னா 3 work only I have got from the network. I have been there in the network for 10 years. What is the use? There is no use of that. So this question is very important. What is the profit sharing we have? வெறும் ரெஃபரலில் மட்டும் நான் ஃபீஸ் பண்ணிட்டு என்னால் ப்ராக்டிஸ் பண்ண முடியாது. My referral fee alone is not my practice. It may give me money, but I will not have a brand. So this profit sharing is very important, because this will decide whether whether we can continue for so long in the firm. Because ultimately எனக்கு காசு வரலன்னு வெச்சுக்கோங்களேன், அந்த நெட்வொர்க்கில் இருந்து என்ன யூஸ்? Nothing is there. Then what are the range of services the association provides? This is also very important. ஏன் நான் very important சொல்றேன்னா, நான் சொன்ன மாதிரி தான், if they are also going to do only accounting services, you are doing accounting, you are doing GST, they are also doing tax services, they are also doing FEMA services, you are also doing FEMA services. In what way that network will be beneficial for you? This is very important, because what is the range of service they offer us? What is the, how can we spread out? நம்ம கிளைண்ட்டுக்கு சொன்ன மாதிரி இப்போ இருக்கிற கிளைண்ட்டே நான் அதை வச்சுன்னு போயிடுவேனே, நான் கிளைண்ட்டை ஸ்ப்ரெட் அவுட் பண்ணால் எனக்கு ஸ்பெஷலைசேஷன் வேணும் இல்லையா? எனக்கு அந்த ஸ்பெஷலைசேஷன், அந்த ரேஞ்ச் ஆஃப் சர்வீசஸ் அவங்க கொடுக்குறாங்களா? தட் இஸ் வெரி இம்பார்ட்டன்ட் டு ஆஸ்க் பிஃபோர் ஜாயினிங் எனி நெட்வொர்க், வெதர் இட் இஸ் குளோபல் ஆர் லோக்கல். அகைன் இப்போ பார்த்தீங்க சிஏ ரெகுலேஷன்ஸில் ஒன்லி டொமஸ்டிக் சிஏ ரெகுலேஷன்ஸ் தே ஆர் பாட். தி global, there is no regulations, there is no networking regulations for any international networks. As of today, it is only for domestic networks. The CA, it is in progress, the draft is there, and soon it will come. So I am just sharing this with you so that we can all be ready when it comes. What is that we have to see there? Just because ஒரு பேர் வந்துருச்சு இன்டர்நேஷ்னல் இருக்காங்கன்னு ஒன்றே நம்ம போய் ஜாயின் பண்ணக்கூடாது. We will have to see clearly, evaluate, analyze. ஏன்னா அதுக்கப்புறமா ஏன்னா ஒரு வாட்டி நீங்கள் போனீங்கன்னா, ஃபார் எக்ஸாம்பிள் $20,000 you have to pay.
20 lakhs it's a yearly fees.
Yearly fees.
We need to
Have that much resource.
break even.
அதை தான் சொல்ல வரேன். சரி, நம்மளுக்கே இங்கே பிரேக் ஈவன் நமக்கு இல்லாச்சு, நான் அதில் ஜாயின் பண்ணிட்டேன் ஜஸ்ட் பேருக்காகன்னு வச்சுக்கோங்களேன், நோ யூஸ். because they might be doing some other services, they might be into advisory service, example நான் சொல்கிறேன், or they are into accounting service, I am also into accounting service. What is the use I have? இல்லையா? ஏன்னா அப்புறம் இட் இஸ் காம்படிஷன், இட் இஸ் நாட் நெட்வொர்க்கிங் பேசிக்கலி, இல்லையா? நான் அவரும் கம்ப்ளீட் தான் பண்ணிட்டு இருப்போம். உங்களுக்கு வர கிளைண்ட்டை நான் எடுக்கலாமா, எனக்கு வர கிளைண்ட்டை அவர் எடுக்கலாமான்னு. தட் இஸ் நாட் வே த நெட்வொர்க்கிங் ஹேஸ் டு ஃபங்க்ஷன். What can you expect from an international association or any domestic association? What and all should we expect? Actually, the question should be, what should we expect from an association, which is a network association? First one is presence. What do you mean by presence? நம்ம இவ்வளோ நேரம் பேசினோம் இல்லையா? What do you mean by presence? Visibility. Presence means visibility. How much is the network visible outside? If it is invisible, or is it visible? How many people know this network? HLB எடுத்துட்டீங்கன்னா, for example, there are a lot of associations. HLB எடுத்துட்டீங்கன்னா, they are top 6 or top 7 in the world. So how much is our networking which we are going to decide is visible outside? That is very important question. So the presence is very important, whether it is international or domestic. We will have to be very clear what is the presence they have. Now, number 2, extended knowledge base. What is this extended knowledge base? Apart from that, I told one thing, and the center corporate, where the top, they will have to supervise, they will monitor everyone. What is the knowledge base they have? What is that is the extension we have. See, we are all already experts in the field we are working with. Same with the other partner also. See, the another person who is an expert in tax, another person I told FEMA, if they are all experts in their own field, adala no questions asked. But what is that extended knowledge base? இதை மூணுத்தை எப்படி உள்ள கொண்டு வருது? இதை மூணுத்தை எப்படி கம்பைன் பண்ணணும்? ஒரு கிளைண்ட்டுக்கு how can it be beneficial by bringing all this together? How can we deliver more to the client? That is that extended knowledge base, which cannot be done by the person who is doing the work. And he might be having limited resource, limited time. Okay, so that is that extended knowledge base we are talking about. What is that networking firm offers you in terms of that extended knowledge base? Better quality of deliverables. What does it mean? Better quality of deliverables na enna? இப்போ நம்ம பண்ணிட்டு இருக்கோம், அதோட நம்ம இன்னும் நல்லா பண்ண முடியுமா இந்த நெட்வொர்க்கில் ஜாயின் பண்ணால்? பிகாஸ் ஆஃப் த சிஸ்டம்ஸ், ப்ராசஸ். ஃபார் எக்ஸாம்பிள், they will have audits, they will have reviews, like our peer review. Networking also does review. They will review our work and then give suggestions, give improvements, give ratings, give points. இந்த மாதிரி பண்ணுறாங்களா நெட்வொர்க்கில்? It's an important question to be asked. So which will enable us to improve our deliverables. For example, SOPs vechirkala, whether they will be able to share the standard practices which they are doing. Are we able to implement it? That is another question altogether. But first is whether irka and the standard of practices irka and the standards avanga vechirukangala and the mari systems vechirukangala is a very important question to ask before joining any network. Wider service range and brand. Every networking we are joining, because as an individual I will not have a brand. I am joining a network because they have a brand. இல்லையா? So அது இருக்கான்னு ஃபஸ்ட் நம்ம பார்க்கணும். What is a brand? Again comes to visibility. Again comes to who knows what. இந்த தமிழ்நாட்டில் எவ்வளோ பேருக்கு அந்த நெட்வொர்க் தெரியும்? இந்தியாவில் எவ்வளோ பேருக்கு அந்த நெட்வொர்க்கு தெரியும்? வேர்ல்டு லெவலில் அந்த நெட்வொர்க் எவ்வளோ பேருக்கு தெரியும்? That is an important question. That is what you can expect or you should expect from an networking before joining. So இப்போ அவர் சொன்ன மாதிரி ஒரு 3 வருஷம் சார் சொன்னார், 3 மாதம் நம்ம உட்காந்து எல்லாத்தையும் பேசுவோம், எல்லாம் பண்ணுவோம். இதெல்லாம் தான் நம்ம பண்ணுவோம். This is what we should do. In the first 3 months, 4 months நம்ம நெட்வொர்க்கிங் பார்க்கணுன்னா this is what we should do. We should ask these questions. Not just numbers. நீ எவ்வளோ பிஸ்னஸ் கொடுப்ப, நான் உனக்கு எவ்வளோ பிஸ்னஸ் தருவேன், நீங்கள் எவ்வளோ ரெஃபரல் ஃபீ வச்சுக்கலாம், 10% 20%. That is not the question we should ask. The questions we should ask is all this, and this is what we can expect. So once we know what is our expectations, then our questions will be correct. What are the steps you have to do?
How to evaluate the risk aspect? For example, in network reform, they have a global presence about 50 locations and countries.
சரி.
At any one location, some kind of issue goes on and the network is getting banned. So what is the repercussion to the
Correct. So, sir, இதில் தான் இருக்குது. இந்த ரிஸ்கில் both are there. Say for example, what happens is that particular firm gets banned. Okay. The name of that's what I told. The execution is done by the individual person. Then the work alone is got by the network. So what happens is there might be, say இது எப்படின்னா ஒரு 20 பேரில் ஒருத்தர் பேன் ஆகிட்டாங்கன்னா nothing is going to happen to that particular LLP. That is where your risk spread outs. இப்போ இதே யோசிச்சு பாருங்கள், நம்ம பார்ட்னர்ஷிப் ஃபார்மில் தான் இருக்கும். நானே பார்ட்னர், நான் ஒரு பிரான்ச் ஓப்பன் பண்ணியிருக்கேன் யூஎஸில். ஓகே, ஐ ஹாவ் a branch, not a networking, I have a branch. Now you assume the risk which is there for me if there is a mistake there. I am gone. Correct. But in case of a network, it is not there. Other partners are there. So that is where the risk gets spread out in case of a networking, not in case of an individual practice or a firm, whatever we call about. What steps you need to take to become a member? This is the third stage. Like, நம்ம first evaluate பண்ணி, நம்ம first வந்து why answer பண்ணணும். What is why? just to recap what is why, we saw a lot of things: business development, what is the service to client, what is the expertise we can get, how it will build our resources. So all these are the why we have to ask. Number 2, we will have to analyze what response this for the whys we will get from the network. Whether they will be able to give us a standard practice, they will be able to improve our efficiency, they will be able to improve our resources, they will help us to build the brand. These are the answers which we saw at the benefits or why or what we can expect. Now, then what we have to do. First one is one firm, one state. This is there is no use in we joining that network or we becoming a part of a network. Then it will be competition among network partners, it will not be growth. So we will have to be very clear, we are not overcrowded. So if India or 6 to 7 is more than sufficient in major cities. Or 6 to 7 firms together will be a reasonable network where we can pitch for bigger jobs. For example, take a company which has a pan-India presence, Lafarge or say Godrej example. They have a work, very simple work like physical verification of all the stores, inventory. Simple job, physical verification of inventory. Okay. If I have to pitch as a network, it will be very useful because I am place presence. Okay. I can pitch saying my network will enable you to do the job in 7 places and nearing by place also. Because that 7 and the network which I can complete the entire inventory job, which is not possible in case of an individual because I have only a local presence. Sure. So one firm, and also it is very important that I don't have very too much. Because the amount of work which we do, the amount of money we will get will go only in this. In spreading out. Again, each and every person will get, each and every member firm's share will be very less. The benefit which we are earning from the network will be very low compared to the amount of effort we are putting in. So we will have to be very clear when we are selecting a network as to it is not too crowded. Whether it is international, whether it is local, this point is very valid. 2. Check for local presence. This is very important. When you have internationally going, especially for international, because local we have our institute. Like member we can ask them institute the member we can reach out to them and everything. But in case of an international organization, India it's very important for us to evaluate. Irukangala illaya? First question. Irukangana, it's very important because they should have a local presence because we are joining, we are taking that risk. And இப்போ நம்ம ஒருத்தரே ஒரு நெட்வொர்க் பார்ட்னர் இன் இந்தியான்னு வச்சுக்கோங்க. தட்ஸ் வாட் ஹேப்பன் இன் அஸ்னஃப் வேர் வி ஆர் த ஒன்லி பார்ட்னர்ஸ். இனிஷியலி இட் ஃபெல்ட் வெரி கிரேட் பிகாஸ் எல்லா ஒர்க்கும் எனக்கு கிடைக்கும். பட் ஓவர் பீரியட் ஆஃப் டைம் வாட் ஹேப்பன்ஸ் இஸ் இட் கெட்ஸ் டைல்யூட்டட் பிகாஸ் ஐ வில் நாட் பி ஏபிள் டு டூ ஸோ மச் ஒர்க். It will become once again stagnated. So it should not be crowded. At the same time, it should not be sparse. It should be reasonable. So the second question is check for local presence. First, we have to see whether they have an office, whether any other member firm is there, whether they are in India. Example, talk to a local member, get a review of the association. Again, this is very important. நம்ம பண்ணுவோம் இல்லையா, நம்ம இந்த ஆடிட் எடுக்கிறதுக்கு முன்னாடி we are just now sending a saying no objection certificate வாங்குறோமே. Same here also. We will have to discuss with them and see whether this association அவங்க என்ன பண்ணுறாங்க, அவங்க சொல்கிறதெல்லாம் கரெக்டாக, அவங்களால ஏதாவது பெனிஃபிட் வந்திருக்காங்களா, அவங்க முன்னாடி எப்படி இருந்தாங்க. That local member before joining the association what they were and what they are now. இப்போ என்ன பண்ணுறாங்க, இப்போ எப்படி இருக்காங்க. Is there a value addition because of this network or it is only value depletion? வெறும் காசு மட்டும் மெம்பர்ஷிப் மட்டும் கொடுத்துட்டு நான் ஒரு பேரில் மெம்பராக இருக்கேன் அப்படின்னு சொல்கிறதுல யூஸே இல்லை. ஸோ யூ வில் ஹேவ் டு என்கொயர் வித் த லோக்கல் மெம்பர், டாக் டு தெம் சேயிங் எங்க நான் இது மாதிரி ஜாயின் பண்ண போகிறேன், இதான பெனிஃபிட் இருக்கா, நீங்கள் என்ன பண்ணீங்க, எப்படி இருக்காங்க, அவங்க என்ன கொடுக்குறாங்க உங்களுக்கு, எல்லாத்தையும் அவங்கக்கிட்ட கேட்டுக்கோங்க. இன்ஃப்ராஸ்ட்ரக்சர் டு பி ப்ரூவ்ட், திஸ் இஸ் வெரி இம்பார்ட்டண்ட். ஏன்னா இப்போ நம்ம ஒரு நெட்ஒர்க்கில் ஜாயின் பண்ணிச்சே நம்ம ஒன் திங் விச் வி ஆஸ்ட் இஸ் அவங்க எனக்கு என்ன தருவாங்கன்னு, கரெக்டாக. பட் த சேம் கொஸ்டின் த அதர் பார்ட் மெம்பர்ஸ் வில் ஆல்சோ ஹேவ், நான் அவங்களுக்கு என்ன பண்ணுவேன். If we are saying what I can expect from them, they will also have the same thing, what I can expect from you. So the one thing which we will have is our infrastructure has to be at top notch. When I say infrastructure, what does it mean? Very simple. Basically our office, we will have a presentable office. Then we will have our technologies. like laptops, computers, simple, from basic technology aspects to high-end like server and everything, we will have to have our infrastructure pruned up, because that is what will be the expectation of other people also. When they come and see, when they do, they will have all these expectations. நம்மளோட மெம்பர்ஸ் எவ்வளோ இருக்காங்க, நமக்கு எவ்வளோ எம்ப்ளாயீஸ் இருக்காங்க, ஆஃபீஸ் என்ன பண்ணுறோம், எப்படி வச்சுருக்கோம் ஆஃபீஸை, all that they come and see. So when we have the expectations set on them, we also should have their expectations fulfilled from us. And the basic one is on the infrastructure part. Be open for inspection. This is what I said before, but sign an NDA. This is very important. நான் வந்து நெட்ஒர்க்கில் ஜாயின் பண்ணுறேன், ஃபார் எக்ஸாம்பிள் HLB வராங்கன்னு வச்சுக்கோங்களேன், ரொம்ப பெரிய ஃபேம், ஐயோ எனக்கு அது கிடைக்கிறது, வாங்க வந்து பாருங்கள் அப்படின்னு நான் சொல்லிட்டேன்னா, வி ஷுட் நெவர் டூ தட். ஏன்னா அவள் வந்து எல்லாத்தையும் பார்த்துட்டு என்னோட இன்ஃபர்மேஷன்லாம் எடுத்துகிட்டு போயிட்டானா, ஐ எம் ஓப்பனிங் மை கிளைண்ட் பேஸ் டு தெம், இல்லையா? ஸோ ப்ளீஸ் ஹேவ் an NDA signed before allowing any firm to do an inspection when they want to join a network. Right to the secretariat. Secretariat is the central office. அவங்களோட சென்ட்ரல் ஆஃபீஸ் இருக்குல்ல, தட் இஸ் கால் செக்ரட்டேரியட் ஃபார் நெட்ஒர்க்ஸ். ஸோ அந்த செக்ரட்டேரியட்டுக்கு ரைட் அண்ட் ஆஸ்க் தெம் ஆல் த கொஸ்டின்ஸ், ஆஸ்க் ஆல் த டாக்குமெண்ட்ஸ். நீங்கள் உங்கள் ஃபர்ம்ஸுக்கு என்ன பண்ணீங்க, எப்படி பண்ணீங்க, எந்த மாதிரி வேல்யூ அடிஷன் நீங்கள் பண்ணீங்க, வாட் இஸ் தட் யூ ஹவ் டன், ஹவு மெனி நெட்ஒர்க்ஸ் ஃபார் மெம்பர்ஸ் யூ ஆட் வென் யூ ஸ்டார்டட், இப்போ எவ்வளோ பேர் இருக்காங்க, எந்த கண்ட்ரீஸில் இருக்காங்க. ரைட் டு த செக்ரட்டேரியட், டோன்ட் ஹெசிடேட். ஏன்னா நம்ம அதே மாதிரி ஜாயின் பண்ண அப்புறமா 3-4 months ஆகிடும். We would have spent all the efforts time for 3-4 months. Then to come out, it will take another 6-7 months. By the time we will be depleted. So in the Japanese law staying one irukku. If you get on a wrong train, okay, if you get on a wrong train, please get down at the nearest station possible. Okay. So adukku na enna solrena adhe avoid pannonன்றேன். ஏன்னா நம்ம we would have already spent, see we are ours is a practice. நம்ம ப்ராக்டிஸ் பண்ணால் தான் நமக்கு ஏர்னிங்ஸ் வரும். அந்த ப்ராக்டிஸில் we are spending 3 to 4 months on this networking. So we have to be very careful when we are joining the network. So we will have to ensure, we will have to do all this to ensure that we get the benefits, we know what is there. Without அந்த ஆழம் பார்க்காம காலை உள்ள வச்சிடக்கூடாது. This is called, there is called a forum of firms. Forum of firms is nothing but like a networking. There is a forum of firms where the networks is open to networks and firms of all sizes that conduct. இது forum of firms group, like நிறைய networks இதில் வந்து மெம்பர் ஆயிருக்காங்க. இன்டர்னலி அவங்கெல்லாம் பேசிக்கிறதுக்கு என்ன, நெக்ஸ்ட் ஸ்லைடில் நான் காமிக்கிறேன் யாரெல்லாம் இருக்காங்கன்னு. பட் a forum of firms is where there are a group of networking firms as a member here. But what has to be seen is what is the objective of the forum. இந்த நெட்வொர்க்காக இருக்கட்டும், ஒரு ஃபாரமாக இருக்கட்டும், forum is nothing but a group of networks. What is the objective of the network, what is the objective of the forum is very important. என்னன்னா, one, whether it is for a global order. Global orderனா என்ன, வெரி சிம்பிள். நான் சொல்லுவேன், அங்கேருந்து நான் யூஎஸில் இருக்கேன், நான் சொல்லுவேன் எல்லாரும் அதை பண்ணுங்க. That's a global order. Okay, I will say you do. Is that what they are asking? Because it will not work out. What is working in USA, what is working in Singapore will not work in India. We will have to see what is that they are saying. What is this forum, what is this network, is that they are having as their motto or as their purpose or objective. If they want to say, no, I will want to group everyone together and I will want to have a single dictatorship order, I will have to capture everything and everything is in my place, then that will not work out, because it will curb all the competitions. Number 2 is a cartel. Cartel என்னன்னு தெரியும் உங்களுக்கு, பாக்கி எல்லாரையும் அழிச்சிட்டு நான் மட்டும் தான் இருப்பேன். It's very simple. Is that the objective the networking is for? Which is very wrong. Because I should not have a network to destroy another person. I should have a network to build an organization. That should be the objective of the network. These are all just names, நான் just ரெஃபரன்ஸ்க்காக கொடுத்துருக்கேன். The forum of firms in சொன்னேன் இல்லையா, the forum of firms has 23 international accounting firms. Few of them are here. KPMG, Deloitte, PKF, HLB, these are all networkings. In the HLB networking, Croath networking, PKF Chartered Accountant is a networking firm, Baker Tilly International is a networking, KPMG, Deloitte, these are all networkings. These are all networkings which are forming part of forum of firms. Some more, Asnaf, Prime Global, Polaris, IA, these are all few more examples of international networks. Just giving an idea, like whenever, if you have, you can time see, because like I told, the end result of this session should be like, at least we should start working on having a network or moving ahead with a network. Then you will have all these names with you. I'll just stop here. Sridhar will take over from here for some more time. But before that, I want to ask this question. What do you feel of this? Is it something valid we are discussing here? Is it something in the current environment will work for all of us? Or no, like Asa told, individual is okay, I am satisfied with that, I can proceed. Correct. So that's what I told. So that is the why you are answering now. See, the why you are answering now is the fees which I will not be able to pay, but still I want to grow. So let me form a network of, like Badgaj we did. Badgaj is nothing but a domestic networking firm, a networking thing. So we had all the local firms joining together thing. But that's what I said. So once you have that network, then you should have all the answers for this, so that it can be a long-term network and not something which is short. I'll just hand over to Sridhar. He can then continue. And yes, sir, 100%. That's what I said, sir. The first 3 months, 4 months which you told will be mostly on this risk assessment only. How much of the risk? See, actually, I will not say even risk. How much of that benefits I will get? Basically, that is the analysis I will do. Basically, I will say, if I join this network, first of all, whether this network will serve my purpose. That is the first important question I will have to answer. For example, there is a network, they already have partners here. Let us take any network here, they already have a lot of partners here. Now, for me to join that network, it should answer whether it will be beneficial for me. I am good at something, whether the other thing which I am not good at, whether this is answering that. Sir, it is visibility which is more important for a network here. See, all the networks which you showed here as the visibility, as the brand, as the reach. KPMG, Deloitte, EY, brand dane. And the reach is not there for an individual CA like Gopalakrishnan. So that is what we are going to take advantage of. We should not see that advantage alone. We should also have our identity. At the same time, we should also see what is the problem it is solving for us. I already have a good practice. Why I should go and join KPMG? I already have a big firm. Say, example, or 800 people firm. Okay, I am good at accounting, audit, good. Why I should join a KPMG or ENY or Baker Tilly or HLB, anything, any of the networking firms I am talking about. Why should I join is the question I should ask. Correct. That is also, that's what I said. That is where that infrastructure prunability comes into question. When we have an expectation, they will also have the expectation. So that is what my friend Sridhar will take forward. Like, answer these questions in your mind. Ungaloda questions neenga ketting illaya, inda questions answer panningana ungalku and answer kadaikum. Whether they will be ready to take us or not.
These are all registered as association of persons.
Depends upon, sir. Association of persons mostly ellame. AOP. LLPs, AOPs, all.
Okay, so till now, somewhere, of course, some people have also discussed about this, some challenges, those things have also come. But till now, you would have seen more on how, we can network and, how we can, try to leverage out of that network and how we, kind of improve our, scalability, scalability, our visibility, etc. So now we will see that before getting into the network, what are the important points also to consider? See, it's not like just that, of course, somewhere Gopal said, right, just don't you get into that, how much money I will receive, how much work I will receive. So that's not the thing. How much you will be able to grow with this network? What is the scalability you will be able to bring? Is it a long-term, partnership which you will be able to really make out of that? So those are, see, when you think about that, there are some other questions which actually you need to answer. So those so I will be discussing on those questions which you see someone needs to take into consideration before getting into a network. Okay, so one of the question will be that, do you have the internal quality control procedures? Okay, so see, generally, if say where yeah.
Once he says, I just need you want to take 2-3 seconds or at least 5 seconds to evaluate yourself, he will explain each and every question he can tell. I just want you all to evaluate yourself where we stand as of today. So that will answer all our questions also. So just don't take it as a presentation where he will explain everything. Just need everyone to take 5 seconds to analyze where we are as of today.
So, see, coming to the first point, you will see that, somewhere Mr. Gopal said that, we will be a small firm, and at the very start, somewhere, there will not be any written rules. If I am the only person, there will not be anything which is written very, maybe see, even if you get like enter into engagement with the clients, so it's not necessary that you might enter into something like an engagement letter or something. So you might just agree on over emails. But now when you get into networks, see, fine, you might get into networks where with someone who is there in India. See, they might not have very, tough or very, dense internal control procedures. But when you get into, alliance or network, into even network with very say some very international brands or having like presence at multiple places in the world. See, somewhere he also mentioned that they will come and they will try to check what is the infrastructure which is there. Do you have the systems in place? What are the checks you do in terms of your audit? Say, for example, if you perform your services, do you have see, they might require that there is a certain process which is followed. See, are you ready for that? See, that is also some of the things, one of the important things which has to be taken into consideration. See, you can say, for example, if you are an individual firm and suddenly, see, for example, see, especially taking into consideration, say, some alliance networks like Big Four. Say, they might require a very dense set of internal control procedures. I might say that there will be very, the first step of level for, say, example, a client acceptance, or the way you prepare a kind of a EL itself. See, it will have itself a lot of such clauses and all those stuff which you might not have even even thought of, or you would not have that expertise to build something like that till now. Okay, but now suddenly if you get into a network and those kind of things are required from your end, so you might first see that you might not be even ready to take up that. Are you ready?
Now, given that like the standard process is the
Absolutely, it will get addressed, but see, it is also into what kind of network you are. That's what I also said, that if you are getting into a kind of network with someone which is in India, see, it might get addressed, but you have to also evaluate whether it will get addressed if you do international arrangements, or if you do international networks, whether it still gets addressed, or how much of the gap you need to fill in order to address that. Is it worth investing there? Because see, if you have to address that, then now you need to see, for example, these things, these are administrative things. You need to put people for that. There are some legal things. You need to put a legal team for that. Are you ready to do that? So that is also some of the important things which you need to, because see, when the quality control review happens, as a network, if the network wants that there is certain set of things which needs to be followed. See, at the end of the year, there could be an internal quality control review also could happen. are you ready? Do you have the set of people to really follow all those things and comply with the network the norms which are there as part of the network? If it is not there, say for example, you can as you just told, as the CA Institute now requires, most of the firms will have maybe you can just start with some Indian firms itself. You are an individual firm, like you start with start association, or you start a network with some of the Indian firms itself. You might feel better because see, you still don't have to make too much of adjustments. But if you suddenly jump and try to make networks with international networks, see, you need to analyze. See, I'm not telling that it cannot be made, but you need to surely take these things into consideration. Because of course it can have because at the end of the day, if you are not able to follow, see, the network would say that, see, this doesn't fit to the network standard, right? So that is one of the points. Second thing is when I come to the point number 2, point number 3. See, point number 2, point number 3, which is like on the communication of independence, or whether it's on the governance practice. See, generally, again, see, it comes to the same set of things. Now, see, when you were providing the services on your own, the thing is that, see, you took up a client. See, you might not you will not see that whether, see, you have a visibility already what you are doing for that client. Okay, you knew that you are doing audit. Yes, so say you are doing audit, you cannot do any bookkeeping functions and all. Okay, you know that. But now when you get into network and say, if see, that particular client can have widespread see, it could be served by any of your network members. It could be, say, if it is an international firm, it could have any subsidiaries, it could have a wide presence. See, now what would happen is that, see, every time you pick up a client, see, you have to see a lot of things, lot of checks which needs to be made. You see, if you see big organizations, they will have an absolute great a way or a methodology or a mechanism to track the client, to see where all they have the presence. You need to write to those partners. You need to see, so okay, there is some connect, some partners provided to this client's, say, subsidiary or some, or there may be some methodology or a mechanism to say that no, see, they are listed somewhere else in the world, so you cannot provide a non-attest function here in India. So those kind of things you need to take now into consideration. So and it's something like, see, as when you are making this network, see, somewhere you need to see that when you see, of course, as part of, say, if you are getting into some international network, say, this kind of see, there will be some documented things which will be there actually. See, he said right, there is if there is some relatives and all those, we don't take. See, these kind of things will be there in addition to what there will be there in the statutes. Okay, so see, whether we are in the position to comply with all those things. See, so those things, see, whether we have that things to build up in our system also. So those things are also there. Whether we can bring that. See, even in terms of, say, the ethical governance, say, something like this there. See, if say, for example, if I have my network, kind of a thing, it requires that if I do certain set of engagements. See, if there is, it needs to be ensured that it is partner reviewed, or there are certain high risk assignments that require that there should be additional layer of review should be done. See, do I really have at this stage the capacity to bring in people to say that yes, I will be able to comply with all these things. See, that is also some of the things, because see, before I enter in network, I need to see my capacity, my set of pros and cons in where I operate. See, that is also one of the things which has to be taken into consideration. Yeah, you build systems basically. You build systems, and see, at the end of the day, we need to see whether by building the system, see how much of time or cost it will take to build the systems, and see whether I am now in the position to do that. See, that is one of the things. See, because see, these are questions, right? See.
Questions you
whether I'm in the position to do that or not is see, if I enter into that, whether I will be in a position, am I ready to do all these things? I'm asking these questions to myself. So these are some of the points which needs to be considered before going to that. Yeah. So now coming into other points, like say, for example, the quality control point or the disengagement on the independence or the conflict of interest. These are actually like the similar points only. See now quality control has to be, quality control can be, it could be defined by the network itself. As I just told, there could be additional layers of there is review is required or something is required. Have we ensured that? Or there could be like there is a knowledge base. So there could be some knowledge teams itself which is required by the network. See, if it's required by the network, if I say, for example, advise on some very complex structures. If I am having a separate firm, I will just go like, okay, I will use my expertise and I will give it. But when if I do as part of the network, there might be a requirement that I need to have a separate knowledge team which is there, which does a lot of research and analyzes the positions on the various various topics or the various aspects under, say, income tax, let's say. And if I cross certain level of deliverable, say for example I'm serving a deliverable of say for 5 lakh rupees or 10 lakh rupees, I need to specifically go and say take those advice and opinion from that knowledge team before delivering it to the client. Now am I now ready to put such a system in place? Am I now ready to put a separate knowledge team and say build a separate knowledge team and will build? How much of time it's going to take? How much of cost it's going to take? It's going to take a lot of cost. There are firms which have over a period of time have been able to put these systems, but how much? Whether I'm now if you are a medium-sized firm and then say you're trying to take a little bigger leap now, you may be able to build. But if you are a very small firm, you may not be able to build. Size where you stand today and to where you want to go. Where you want to take a very big jump. If you want to take a very big jump, are you ready to take the risks, which are risks and other things which are coming with it? Are you ready to take that? That is important, because if you will not follow with that, and you will fall short of the network standard. So that is what all these 2 points also. And the third point also, somewhere when Gopal was discussing, he was telling about the technology, like with networks, we were able to build the technology. Of course, when with networks, when you build, they will expect certain things from us. Like they will expect that do you have the systems in place which actually eases to serve the clients. Systems could be in terms of the administrative things, like all this independence issues and other things also, but also to serving the clients. Do you have if you already have a technology, does it meet the standards to maintain that quality which the network generally brings in, or to do any kind of more quality updates are required? Or if you don't have you just being relying on manual work and not you have not done any technology till now, and but now given that there is a network requirement that there is you need to bring in the technology. It could be some audit analytics tools which you use, or kind of the tools which you use for doing any compliances. If you need to build, or if the existing tool is it's not up to the mark and you want to bring it to the level of the international network standard, do you have now do you have the capacity to build that? Or you're still you may or may not be able to build. It's something which you need to analyze before entering, because if you are not able to satisfy, again you will fall short of the standard. You will be like they might not be comfortable to be partnering with you. Okay, because if you have to partner with you, see, you have certain expectations on the revenue, see the businesses which you will be able to make, but it's also that the other person also has certain expectations in terms of maintaining that, the brand name, because see, it comes to the brand, right? See, we want to project that and try to penetrate more. We want to bring more revenue, say everything, but it also comes with the quality which we provide. So there are technology plays, because if you see it also that technology, if you keep, it also frees up space for doing more things. Say we have been doing more compliance, more litigations, you want to do more advisory. Now I want to build more, then of course you want people to free up, and of course you want people you want the technologies to automate the things which you could have actually which you could actually easily do through automation. Like it could be done through system itself. You just automate that, and then for more complex things, say some merger advisory, or some say some implementation of merger, etc. So for those kind of things you need to put more people. So that will lead to business, and that will lead to of course utilizing that brand name to project or grow your business here itself. So that's how the thing is. But the point here is that if you have the technology, or if you don't have the technology, you want to put the technology, are you ready to put the technology? Are you ready to build? That is one of the questions which you need to keep in mind. How ready are you? Yeah. So then the next comes is the extra time. So now see let's start from where he started. Like, see, we are now say a firm. I'm running the firm, and the single person running the firm, and see, that's the thing. But now with Alliance, what happens is that you are able to serve more. Of course, see, there could be some clients here, say I get into an alliance with someone in say Mumbai or say Delhi. See, one thing is that you get a lot of clients, but it's also that you pass on a lot of time. But it's also that see, you need to spend that extra time in terms of executing it. See, because it's going to increase the volume of work, and also see, it's in case of international say networks. So I personally see that, see, if you work with a particular, say you come with a brand, see, you can start expanding, but you can start penetrating more into the market. But if you start penetrating more into the market, see, you also need to spend a lot of time doing the BD. Okay, now do you have the time to do the BD? Is what he was talking. See, I am just executing more. See, I am. Do I have the time to do the BD now? See, if I don't have the time to do too much of BD, so I need to analyze as to how much I can do from my side. See, if I can do only a little bit, or I need to plan that out. Like, see, I will do BD, but I will just appoint more people under me, and then I will try to delegate more things, build more layers, so that where the execution is there, that is happening. But at the same time, I use the network's name, etc., so as to build and say penetrate further new markets. Say if I go to say new states, say go to say northeastern states or northern states, etc. But for that, what I need to do is that there will be surely a lot of additional time which is required. See, next, of course, even in terms of the punctuality, where it comes to whether you will be able to respond on time. See, respond on time also comes with, again, this is also about time only, because see, if with the existing setup, do you have the bandwidth to serve all those extra there is extra work which is coming in, do you have the bandwidth to serve those people on time? So, see, if you are not able to, see, there are delays, again there will be problem in terms of, see, are you able to meet that standard? Because see, they may have standard that, see, if a client contacts, I need to, respond within 24 hours or within 48 hours. Or if it's a big deliverable, there are certain, time frame within which I need to, respond. will I be able to respond? Do I have the bandwidth? And if I don't have the bandwidth, do I need to build more people? See, if I need to build more people, there is more cost there as well. It's not just about the network cost. It's about the people cost also. Are we ready to do that? So that is also one of the things. Then of course it also comes like, are the employees and other members are happy with association? See, generally if of course, one of the things will be that, see, if you get into a big network or big alliance, see, people will be like, okay, wow, good, it's good only because it's so many people coming, and then we are going to get the benefit of the brand, and there will be more business development, more business building which will happen. And so those things are there. But at the same time, see, is it taking on the time of the people? Again, it comes to the bandwidth only. See, you are executive with the same set of people, but they are pushed too hard. Again, when it started with the work-life balance, work environment, are they ready to take that thing on them? Because see, suddenly it comes to a place that they were working for say 8 hours or 8 hours, suddenly it shifts to 12 hours. See, are they ready to take that? Are they ready to churn so much, or is it fine to churn so much on existing set of people, and how much you need to build more in terms of the resources, so that there's not too much of slogging at the existing people level. So more people, see, the more sharing will happen, and at the end of the day, you will be able to execute it with quality. So those things needs to be planned. Is something. See, it also comes with a point like they may not generate any business for a few years. Of course, see, there could be brands, of course, with international brand networks or something. You might say that, of course, with that name and stuff, I can go and try to win more in the market and try to penetrate more in the market. See, maybe first few years it may still not work. Okay, because see, the client expectation may be that I want certain set of people in that particular market. See, maybe you don't have those people in the market. See, if you are existingly executing in Chennai, you have your partner, you have set of people. But say if you want to expand in say Kochi with that network brand, see, they will start asking, where is the team? Okay. See, now if that is the case, see, if you build a team also, see, it will take some time for them also to expand, go the market, even this, because there are already players in the market. Because see, if you even take into consideration an international very big brand, big name and all those stuff, see, there are other players in the market who would have already taken up things. So you need to do something extraordinary in that market to really penetrate that market. See, some still able to build or convince the clients to come take you up. Okay. So and so also that in the various areas, it's also important that you start building the capabilities. See, now you have certain set of capabilities. Are you able to so you need to build more capabilities also. See, we have to build more capability. See, then only you will be able to reach so many people, or you will be able to penetrate. So those things actually will take time. That you build people at different levels, different capability levels. You build the people so that you are ability to somewhere serve and give the umbrella services maybe. So all those things comes over a period of time. See, it might not just serve because. Basically, where you stand today and to what extent you can go in terms of getting into a network. Yeah. So other points are also similar. See, the first thing itself, we talked of the policies, internal frameworks. See, are we ready to adapt to that? And whether international culture is also the same thing. See, they will come with certain set of policies and etc. See, are we ready to adapt to those things? Are we in the position to adapt to those things? Yeah. So these are basically we told, right? So say the network, when you say see, the network is basically you are not still you are operating separately, right? You are two separate firms, and of course you are not registering as a third firm. See, alliance is something where we will you are separate firms, but you are of course, you are registering as a third firm also, and with the intention to ultimately, may make it to the merge it with the third firm. So that's how it is there, and I think it's quite explanatory.
Sure. Okay. So, all this like code of ethics, we discussed, it is fully applicable for alliance or networking or other things. What is difference between network and lead network? That is one of the main point which we'll have to say. You can just take them to what is network and lead network if you have, or I can just continue. So what is that is, in the case of a network, what happens is they will have a common name. Like you just asked me one question. A is a firm, B is a firm. They will have a network called A and B, where both of them, that network will pitch for all the jobs, it can do all the jobs. In case of a network with a lead firm, either in A and B, they will select A. So A will be the lead partner, they will go for all the work in their name. It will be done by all the partners, it will be done by all the members of the networking firm, but the job will be taken in the name of A. That is the difference between network and lead networking. Alliance is separate thing altogether. You will have a separate entity which is formed, an AOP basically you will say, and then that will start pitching for work. Now, one of the thing is, if you are doing accounting, the same thing applies. Your alliance cannot do attest function. So basically, if you see, an alliance will be generally for all advisory services, and that is where we are lacking today in India, the advisory part, which is going to all the other big firms. So a networking on an alliance will enable us to get that advisory part. That is what is the main part. It can have a separate GST, it can have a separate bank account. Form filing is as usual compulsory for all the three. I'll just take over from here. It is toe in the water where it has to culminate. It has to culminate in the merger. That is the ultimate aim of networking or alliance. Basically, I form a networking for what purpose? Not that I will be continuing separately, you will be continuing separately. Whenever a work comes, we will join together. The problem there is, you will never be able to create a sustainable brand. In case of a network, you will have a brand. I am not saying no. It will be much better than an individual practice. But to have a longer growth, when you have to showcase yourself as like a big firm, big 4, big 5, big 7, big 10 we are talking about. Okay, if you have to showcase like that, then it has to culminate into merger. The firms together, when they have joined together, now they will be separate, 2 people here, 5 people here. I will show a network of 7 people, but that network of 7 people will always have 2 members. So when we project ourselves, we still be a network of 2 members having 7 people. But when you have to grow big, when you have to grow international, it has to be a place where we are a firm of 7 people. That is what is important, and that is what will happen in merger. So merger is not prescribed under Partnership Act. It is allowed under CA regulations. It's for growth, support of professional services, which we discussed right now. As I told, firm begins with networking. Networking will enable the firms to develop relationship with each other. Then it will culminate into merger. You will have to file Form E within 30 days. Upon merger, ICAI will freeze the name of the firm. What you are applying in Form E, it will freeze the name and it will not allot it to anyone else. I just put some case studies. Maybe just have a look. Firm A and Co, B and Co merged into C and Co during the year. All the 3 firms are empaneled in the bank audit, branch audit panel, and audit is allotted to Messrs. B and Co only. This is after merger. A and Co, B and Co merged into C and Co. Since they were in the empanelment individually, B and Co was allotted the audit. Can B and Co take up the audit? Any views?
Yes.
Cannot. Cannot?
The constitution will change.
So, yes, constitution will be changed, but still B and Co will be allowed to take the audit. Okay. So the CA regulation says B and Co will be able to do the audit provided the C and Co, which is the merged firm which is there, does not get it disqualified. Okay. Because this happened prior to the merger. You see, if the merger has happened, then there would be only one firm which is applying for that. It was before merger, A and B and Co and C and Co as there. Now B and Co got the audit, doesn't mean it get disqualified. They can do the audit, but the challenge now is C and Co should not be disqualified. If they had got some other reason for disqualification, because one of the member firm is already doing a stat audit, is already the auditor for the bank, statutory auditor for the bank, then the branch audit cannot be done by B and Co. So it is possible, but you will have to take care of the reasons. So when he asked me, like there was one question he asked, I will lose my business if I am separate, he can do attest functions, I can do audit functions. These are one of the flip side of networking, because if you have, if you become a stat auditor of a bank, you cannot do the branch audit. This is little bit reverse of that. A and Co, B and Co merged in C and Co during the year. Only A and Co and B and Co are empaneled. Allotment happens to B and Co only. Same case, C and Co is not empaneled here. Okay, C and Co is not empaneled. A and B, B and C is A and Co and B and Co is empaneled. Now B and Co is being allotted the branch audit. Will they be able to continue? Answer is no. Because there the case is C and Co was already there. C and Co also was in the empanelment. Hence B and Co was able to continue. But in this case what happens is B and Co, when it gets merged into C and Co, they don't have the capacity to have that audit. In the earlier case C and Co was there in the empanelment, so the law allowed that, okay, just because you had C and Co in empanelment, I will not prohibit you from doing this audit. You can still continue provided you satisfy the other conditions. C and Co is also valid. But here what happens is C and Co itself is not there, which means B and Co is not there. As of today, because they got merged, B and Co is not there in the system. They have got merged into C and Co. So the act says is, no, you cannot do the audit because B and Co is not there as an individual. Today you are in C and Co only. So if you want to do the audit in C and Co, if you are not allotted audit, since you have not empaneled this year as C and Co, you will not be able to do this audit. So B and Co has to reject the audit. They should have to say, I will not be able to do this audit because we have got merged with C and Co. Now, as in like everywhere it happens, when there is a marriage, there is also a divorce. So if there is a merger, the act says you can have a demerger provided you are there in a merger for 5 years. Like what our act says in marriage, same this CA Institute also says that if you have a merger for 5 years, then you are eligible for demerger provided you are not able to cope up with each other. You can still split up, you can come out separately. So that is what it says. Conditions they have given, 75% more are willing to demerge. Then the demerging partners title to the old firm name. For example, there were two firms called A and B and B and C. B and Co, A and Co, B and Co, C and Co was the new firm. Now, once demerger happens, A and Co can still have the A and Co name, B and Co can still have the B and Co name. That's what it says. Once you demerge, the old firm name is still eligible for the demerged firms to have as their names. If it is available, it is available for you. So, this is what is up to networking alliance merger. I have just taken you through broadly, given the time constraints, I have just taken you through broadly the ideas or thought process which we should have when you are doing an networking, or when you want to do a networking. What are the questions you should ask? Why is the answer what you should have for whys? What is the problem statement you are going to answer? Is all this. But in order to do all this, there is one thing called succession. Basically, why I have to do a networking? Assuming, sir, I am the only, I don't have any children, I don't have anything. I am the last family member of my family. I am doing a CA practice. What is there for me to do a succession? I don't have any great hopes of doing a great practice. I want a big firm, develop, all that I don't have. I want job, I want money. I'll run my whatever is there as of today. Then that's all. In that case, there is nothing required for all this. So the question which has to be asked even prior to networking is succession planning. That is very important. We as a firm today, do we have a succession plan? Which means even after my being there, not there, what I have developed as of today is there or not? Will be there or not is the question we will have to answer, and that is where succession planning comes into picture. I'll just have half an hour, maybe 20 minutes we can go through that, and then we can have this. I'm just giving you a thought process of a founder. You can just read this for 2 minutes. You can just take a minute and read. I'm a founder. People see my earnings today, but they don't see the mountains I climbed. Because when I started, it was 0. Today I have 50 lakhs, 100% correct. But that is what I have built in. I have a junior partner. I gave him 10%. Next partner 5% for proving he can outgrow himself. So I give initially 10% and say 5% you will get. If you prove that, you can bring more business, you can develop more. He handles entire operations. One more youngster I plan to give a single digit share to start with. So I'll have 2 people. One partner, he will take care of the entire other things. The other partner, I'll just give him so that if he goes, this person is there. I'm just talking about the thought process, what will be there as a individual practitioner. Client still needs to see me. That's why there is a line share for myself. I am getting most of the profits, say 50-60% of the profits or 70% of the profits, because even today the client wants to see me. I have to go and sit with the client. They may get roles in MNC, I run that risk too. If they get the role, I will also be able to get that same role in MNC at a much higher value. When I started, we struggled to get even client of 1 lakh. My junior partner is already having that client. When I started my practice, what we will think is, I didn't have one single client, I don't know what will happen tomorrow. But today, a partner, junior partner who is coming in, he already knows that tomorrow nothing will happen because I already have 10 to 15 clients and my revenue is already 50 lakhs. Correct? So I will, and that is what I have set up. So I will take more profits, I will give him only lesser profit. Business still comes because I have network and a partner may exit with the clients. Why? I will ensure that he is getting lesser only because business comes because of me, and even if that other partners goes, the major share of my profit remains with me, I will not lose my revenue. This is one of the thought process of a founder or a person who is having an individual practice, who has set up his practice and who has developed his practice. This is one thought process. I am not saying correct or wrong. There is nothing here as right or wrong. I am just evaluating the thoughts which a founder will have. Thought process 2. Many partners joined, my share has come down, but the base on which I calculated my share has grown. My share is still, I was getting 60%, now I am getting only 30%, no problem. But 60% I was getting of 50 lakhs, this 30% I am getting it of 10 crores. That is what is one. After one stage, my founder status alone is not getting clients. It is the firm which is getting client. I can get clients for 50 lakhs. That is still that I have got it already. After that, what? Am I getting, or my firm's name is getting me? Because of my partners, because of my firm, because of my firm's deliverables, I am getting clients. It's a partnership firm, equity made as owner, but firm grows with all our combined efforts. Like I told, individual practice doesn't need so much thing because I have already set up, I'll just keep running it. I'll just have to oil it properly. Simple. But when I have to grow, it is not individual, but all my partners, all the firm individually, including the employees, has to put the effort. That is my mindset. If I have to grow, this is what will be there. The firm grew not because of my strength, but because of my partners who believed in my weakness. This is what we are addressing in networking. I might have some lacunae, my other networking partner or my other partner will fulfill it. So that as a whole, I will be as an 100%, not at 50-60. The firm has heartbeats, not just mine. I will not think always it is me. I am there, I am running the firm. No. Everyone is there. MNC firm grows with the concept of multiple firms inside one legal entity too. That's a different concept. MNC firms grows with the concept of multiple firms inside one legal entity. If you see all MNC firms, whatever MNC firms we have there, they have different firms together but one trade name, one brand name. We are not talking of that concept. What we are talking about here is one single entity. We feel as a one single entity. We might be different in different partners. We might have different networking partners. That is okay. But we feel as one single entity. That is what I am trying to tell here. Because I am not going into the concept of MNC firms. I am just going into the concept of networking, and in succession what and all should be my thought process. These are all other things when we have to grow as a firm, when we grow as a group, what should be there. Now, just because we have to grow, everyone is common, everyone has equity, but that will not run out because everyone cannot drive the car. There should be one driver, other people has to contribute to ensure that the car is going at the right direction. If I say everyone will have the steering wheel, it will be very difficult. The car will not go in any direction, it will only meet with an accident. Name. What should be, so when I say veto rights and I put all this, these and all has to be with the founder partner or with one partner. These and all should be with a partner who has the vision to create the firm, who has the vision to grow. It cannot be with everyone. For example, what should be the name? If I give, everyone will have each and every suggestion. Okay, so that cannot happen. So that has to be with the veto partner. You should have a veto right for that. When you have a networking, you should have all this there. Who will be the veto? What will be the veto power they will have? These and all they should have. To admission, who can be admitted as a partner, who could not be admitted into the member as a partner. That also only the veto partner should have the rights to select. Everyone can have an opinion, but ultimate selection this person has to do. Loan of over 1 crore. 1 crore is an example, it depends upon the materiality of the firm or networking we have. Ratios. What are the ratios we should see? Whether it is only number of clients, which was there earlier, number of clients now, or turnover we have to see, or the profit we have to see, or the number of employees we have to see. What is the ratios we have to see to develop the growth or to see where we have grown. So that, then network or merger or what. So all this in a firm should have to be have as a veto power. If everyone starts deciding on this, we will never be deciding. It will become a very slow process. Even in a networking, we can all discuss, deliberate whether networking is required. To go ahead, it should be the veto partner who should be able to do that.
But eventually only the early entrant will get this.
Sir, that's what I said. Veto power is, that's what I am trying to prove that point. I told you two scenarios, the founder one and the generic founder. That has been generic founder, if once it comes, then everyone will have the veto power, will not work out. So it will be the early person only because he blood and soul and created this firm. So he should have that right. That's what I say. There is nothing right or wrong in the first one or the second one. But the only thing is, just because second one is because democracy is there, everyone cannot take every decision. There still has to be one person who has to have the main decisions taken. What can be the organization structure in case of a succession planning we are having? This is what should be an organization structure. It can have different in between sub parameters, but in generic, this is what will work out. There will be a managing partners, that is the group which has the veto power. Then it will have all other partners who will be part of the management. They are not the managing partners, they will be part of the management. Then managers, employees and articles. This is one type of organization structure. Now, other way to see an organization structure. See that this structure which we saw earlier, this is a normal structure. Any company, any firm will have this structure. But there is a other way of seeing. This is a much better way of seeing an organization structure to grow and have a succession plan. What is that? First one is partners. Patriots, useless but not good transactions. Who are patriots? Patriots are the people who will stick to us whatever it is. So I'll not have time to go through everything, but I will have this presentation shared where there is a matrix there, which can be who and what can be what. We can decide on that matrix. Now, patriots are the people who will always be there with us. Whatever be the situation, they are there. So these are the people whom we should retain, because these are the people who will build that brand for us, saying people are there. So when we project to a client saying, in my organization attrition rate is only 2%. Because of them only it will be patriots. They will give that 2%. They will be that person saying, okay, I will always be there. I will tell my clients, in my organization all the senior management are there for 20 years. That is a good name, no sir. Rather than saying all my senior managers are there, everyone is a rank holder, but everyone is only 2 years experienced. Right? So patriots are the people who will be there with you, whatever it is. Anchors, basically anchors, very good. Basically the anchors. Useless but good. When I say useless, they are not useless in work. They will be there, they will not be there. We don't know. Tomorrow if an opportunity comes in another firm, which they will pay 1 lakh rupees, they will go from here to there. But they are very good in their work. We need those people also. Attitudes. We need those people also, because we have to do the work. And we need to have people who are very good at work. They might not stick to us for today or 3 years, they might be there, 4th year they might go somewhere else. But we need these people because we have to do the work to be done. Because all the patriots need not be very good at work. Patriots give the stability, the work will be done by these people. The ultimate one is transactions. Transactions very simple, lower level work. Nobody will do all that work. For example, going to an department for follow-up, passing journal entries, vouching. These are the last category. So why I have bifurcated this here is, we have bifurcated here is because this will give you a fair idea of where you should concentrate on succession. It will be on patriots. It is good to retain those people who are good. They can move from year to year, but in your succession planning, patriots are the people whom you should concentrate on. This is just post registration profit sharing, all that we can see afterwards. This is one more case where when we say that we are very big, we have 230 partners. How many people you know? I knew only 10 partners. Okay, this is like a company. In company, you don't have to have like succession. No succession is not required. In company, only the top management will be there. Another person will come. There will be a parallel recruit also. Automatically, they will take care of the recruitment. Tomorrow, if this director is not performing well, bring another director. That is not we are planning about. It's not that we have 230 partners. That means all employees are your partners, basically. That is what we are meaning here. Most of our employees are partners, which is what not we are talking about. We are talking about actual patriots who are eligible to become as partners. If it's a proper succession plan, this is what is a viable or a good organization structure we should have. Partners who have the ownership of the vision, and then they will be the final people who will be building on the strategy, brand, and final authority on everything. Then they will be partners who are successors. Like I told you, managing partners. Managing partners are the top people who own the vision, who own everything. The partners are those who will be second in line, the patriots basically. Then comes the core layer, patriots who can move into, when I said you see the arrow mark, from the partners it comes to the core layer, patriots. So the patriots are the people who can become our partners, who will be there who will be giving stability to the firm. Then comes the support layer, useful but not good. They are specialists, they are very good at their work, they can move into patriots, but as of today, they are very good, but we don't know. The last one is the transaction layer, which will always be there. There will be always movement in the transaction layer. You will always be see, because today you can take a person at 40,000 rupees for doing all your accounting work. Tomorrow a firm, once they get experience in 3 years, a company will pay them 90,000 rupees, which we will not be able to pay as a firm. So you should always be ready for a movement in your transaction level. But ultimate of all this is the final one, protect our client. Whatever it is, whatever structure you follow, this might be there, not be there, but the ultimate thing for us should be protect our client. There should be no disruptions in the deliverables we give to them. This is what was the matrix I am talking about. Once I share it, you can have a look of this matrix. We have developed this to see for each and every category, like what we talked about, the patriots, useful but not good, all that. You can, each and everything we are given. For example, professional competency. For a person at director level or a senior level, professional competency is not a matrix at all to be evaluated. It has to be there. If you are going to see someone who is going to become as a partner and a managing partner, professional competency is not something which he has to develop, which we have to evaluate. It is assumed he has that. Similarly, work related, values, process adherence, cultural fit of the firm. If all these three, there is no evaluation for any senior management. It is presumed they have to be there. If they are there, they are in senior management. If they are not, they will be coming into the second line. Same thing with this. So here, leadership matrix for partners and veto partners. Again, if you see here, 1 to 3, like what we saw there, the professional competency, work related, all that has to be a partner, or else there is no use that he has become a partner. Now, what is there? Cultural fit of the firm. Red flags. In case of a director or senior manager, if you see, red flags is there. When it comes to me, I don't allow it to escalate it to my partner. Is that person having that capability? That is what we will have to evaluate there. It is not that red flag itself is not there. For a senior management, the term should be whether the red flag stop with me or I am allowing it to go to the next level. But for a partner, it should be one step more, because he's a partner. He has to see whether he is able to proactively see whether a red flag will come or not. That should be the analysis we should have. That should be the evaluation matrix. We should have to see whether that person is eligible for a partner. If a person has a characteristic to see a red flag before it arises, then he can be eligible for a partner. So these are some of the leadership matrix which we developed internally. Might be applicable, might not be applicable to various firms, but this has worked well for us. When we evaluate a person to move from senior to junior to senior, senior to top management to partners, partner to managing partners, we evaluate based on these criteria. So I have just shared with few criteria for all of you. We can have a look of that.
In terms of any weightage you would recommend for this, using that the attribute part, rating part?
Sir, no sir, because this is senior management and management, everything has equal weights. Because see, let me put it this way. Let us take this one, transparency, no lies. Okay, what weightage will you give for this? Say for example, I talk to a client and say, sir, I will do a personal job for you. Let me go, please come there. Firm will charge you 1 lakh rupees. I will do it for 75,000. You cannot say only one case is there, so let that partner continue. Not that. Same thing for leadership also. You have a flow. You know you are only instrument, being fair to people. How can you say only one person, sir? No, only one sexual harassment case I had, sir. That is okay. Only one, no, out of 10 years of service. No, that is gone. So here it is not about percentage, everything is equal. Both for senior management and for partners, everything is equal. But for a person from junior to senior, you can have any percentage you want depending upon what is the matrix you can give here. So I just close this now. Thank you for patience listening. I was able to share whatever I was able to learn in this few years which I have worked. I just open, if you have any questions we can discuss or we can move. So you can have the mic. You can give this mic. Because I am.
No, it's a very useful session, sir. First of all, thanks for sharing your perspective and also walking us through that the kind of journey what we have in terms of that the networking. What are the steps to be followed, and especially start with the why. Okay, why required all these things. I think definitely useful, and also the need of the hour. Also, I feel that yes, certainly it is needed, because given my background, I think I came from the corporate background and got into the practice now. So I certainly feel feeling the need of the networking, so that both from the scalability point of view and also that the expanded services. And as you correctly said, the client nowadays asks that, I think, can I have all my needs in one roof, right? I think that is the kind of commitment we have to give, that how we can give that one by way of networking. So that really helps us. And obviously the fundamental factors, what are the essentials we need to ensure, right? I think because we need to really do a lot of things, readiness part.
Correct.
I can be aspired to have so many networks, but I think I'm ready in terms of first to put the efforts in terms of time and all these aspects we have to really evaluate. That's really a good one, I think. Thanks.
Thank you. Thank you. Thanks.
Sir, in the case studies which you have given, in the second case study, you said that C was not there in the empanelment. A and B had gone for the empanelment and B qualified for it. B got the audit.
Right.
But in that case, sir, will it be fair that B is not able to continue the audit because of the merger?
Yes, because.
Or is there any provision for,
No.
there is no provision?
There is no provision. Because B is not there in existence. That's what I told you. In the first case, A, B and C, all three were empaneled. So what the Act says is, just because you got merged, even though one of your member firms is getting empaneled, it can continue the audit. Okay, but in the second case, what happens is, once A and B got merged into another entity, they lose their identity. A and B is not there. So how will you do an audit when someone is not there? So what the Act says is, since you have got merged and the merged firm is not in empanelment, you will not be able to continue. So that is the distinction I was trying to make with that case study. In the first case study, C was also there. The merged firm was also empaneled. In the second case study, C is not there. So A and B cannot do anything by them individually.
But sir, before the merger, C anyways does not exist. And
But
if A is not
Correct.
disqualified, Then can they not prove that A and B only merged into C and continue the audit is my question.
That is what is the condition to be satisfied in the first case. In case of what it says is, the act says is, the regulation says in the case of first case where is a C is empaneled, what they are trying to tell is, they are saying that you will have to prove that these are all member firms, we got merged into C, so please allow us to do, so they are allowing. In the second case, please understand, A and B are not there. If there is no person, how will you prove, who will do the audit? Once you got merged, that's what I said, once you got merged, A and B is not there, it's C now. In the first case, there is a relaxation because C also got empaneled. And Act relaxes by saying that, okay, one of you got empaneled, so you please continue. But in the second case, the person who got empaneled is not there on the date of audit, on the date of empanelment, because it got merged. So they will not be able to continue the audit. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir, for the presentation. Yeah, thank you, members, for attending the event. Thank you, sir.